Sitting around the ballroom, they're talking about tomorrow when they're taking Johnny away. Said he wasn't no good, never done the things that he should. That's all the judge had to say. He went in the army when he was 18. Crazy young Irish and me.
All right, we're back.
And we are more sober than we were last week.
Disgrace. On my end, I want to say that first of all.
No, I think it was both of us. But I blame the Boston Celtics.
I blame the Celtics fully.
But what I will not do is I will not apologize because it's going to happen again.
I'll apologize for nothing. I will say that, like, when I drink all day like that, and I'm excitable. So, like, I had all my buddies in here, then my parents walked in. I'm like,
Right.
fuck it, let's go. And I'm, like, passing around fireball shots and, like, being the guy. And then, like, you know, it's like,
I watched the game outside on Sunday.
yeah,
It was a beautiful day out.
it was gorgeous.
You gonna tell me not to have a day? No, that's not gonna happen. We're gonna have ourselves a day.
Yeah, it was like, you know what? It's like when Superman, like, turns in his powers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to be like a regular schmo and not be able to talk that great.
Right.
Like, that's going to be like what my drunk
No.
night is like.
So, well, just like anything else, just like talking to a girl when you first went to a bar, right? You have all this fucking confidence in the world, and that was us on Sunday.
Yeah. But, like, when I'm watching back, I'm like, I got, like, 9 texts, like, you were fucked up. I'm like, yeah. So, okay.
So many.
So, let's do ad reads first, and then we'll get into, I'll do a little.
Let's do it.
Also, by the way, let's talk about the fact that before we do ad reads, here's an ad read for us. It's fucking hot as balls out, and I had the AC cooking in here, and because we want to give you the best audio quality, we shut it off. So we're going to have to sweat, drink, and I just want you to be thankful right now. And
Yeah, you're welcome, America.
Exactly, you're welcome. All right, first ad read. You're up, right?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Little extra effort hockey. As you know, I said it last week when I was in my drunken state, but nothing's changed. You want your kid to be the next fucking Bobby Orr. Here's what you got to do. Place up in Peabody. It's an off-ice hockey training facility. 1,000 square feet of skatable synthetic ice, which I think is fucking sick.
Sick.
To work on puck handling, shooting techniques. Full-blown gym. Like I told you before, my son goes there for football. They have turf there, and I know Craig. I know Craig personally. He uses the entire gym, which is awesome. It's you're never in pads. It's off ice shit, so it's great. No matter how good the team is, no matter how good you think you are, you can always get better. I know this guy lives, breathes, and dies hockey. It's the greatest thing on earth. When they're training the little guys that don't know anything, they're only going to get better from there. And then when you're the older guys and you think you know everything, they put you in your place.
Yep.
And I honestly think that goes hand in hand with anything in life.
It's awesome.
But now, you know, these guys, they know what they're doing. I know a bunch of kids that not me. My son plays lacrosse and football with. They play hockey. And, the more and more you get out, the more and more apparel you see for extra effort at hockey. It's obviously working. I would recommend it. I'm obviously reading an ad for it because I believe in it. So, you know what I mean? Like, if Mayo ever came up here and said, hey, give us an ad, I'd say go fuck off. You know what I mean? So
Mayo doesn't get any fucking run.
no love. Fuck yourself. But no, extra effort hockey up in Peabody. Craig Richards is your contact, and you can go to Extra Effort Hockey on Facebook, Instagram. It's right there. I don't have the exact address of the place on Route 1, but it used to be the old warehouse. But it's awesome, man. Go in there. It's on the bottom floor. Great little facility. Any questions, please reach out to me or Brennan. We can get you right there.
Yep, and there's a link actually in our post from last week.
That is right. I forgot about
so
that.
you can get their Facebook info there. All right, I'm up. Lillyps, 50 Binney Street. Absolutely love this place. So I got to give a little background because I didn't properly introduce it last time, I think. Chris Parsons, who's the owner chef there. Chris is actually a guy who I know through Cornhole. Through a mutual friend is actually how we met outside of Cornhole. But he brought, I tell you, like, Cornhole is like this. Like, Cornhole night with a bunch of, like, guys at the VFW is like a chatterbox. Like, you can't hear anything, right? It's just people yelling, talking shit.
Sure.
He brought in a tray of, like, 40, like, Nashville-style chicken sandwiches. You could have heard a fucking pin drop. Like, all you could hear was people slobbering over themselves. Dude, this kid's food is unbelievable. I'll say lights out. That will lead into something later. The food is so good. Lillyps chicken, and they're in Cambridge. Like I said, 50 Binny. We're gonna actually I'm talking to Chris. You and I are gonna go over there on a Saturday and do a podcast from there.
Oh, that's dope. I
So
can't
if
wait.
people want to come and hang out, and then we'll get drunk afterwards, obviously, and Uber our faces off.
Fuck yeah. I also want to say yesterday they had a
Huge event.
and I was at a wedding. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yep.
What was it? $20 all you can eat they had?
It was $20 all you could eat chicken. Bentwater Brewing, who my buddy Ryan Nestor, no free ads, but this is a free ad. Bentwater Brewing, great brewery. They were the tap takeover, I think, and then they had a band there. I think Salted Herrings was what it was called, and I was bullshit because I was at Garth Brooks, but we'll get to that too later. We'll get into a full recap.
Well,
but
I already saw you. You already crushed a beer earlier,
yeah.
and you were like, whatever.
Lillyps, go check them out. They're on our Facebook. Connected us on Facebook. Awesome place, and like we said, we'll keep you guys notified when we're going to be there. So if you want to go and just see how dumb we look when we're standing in the corner talking to ourselves, you can do that, and then we'll get drunk together. So,
Hell yeah.
So that's it.
Next up, we got insulation situation. Now, like when you say that, I get excited, and like I am not an insulation guy. I couldn't put insulation.
This is when you tell me this is a situation.
Yeah.
We're in a situation.
Yeah, not those fucking Goombas from New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Listen, insulation situation. They're a Mass Save partner. Most people with Eversource, National Grid qualify. If you are rich and you have a single family home, you get 75% off. If you are a real estate guru and you have multi-family homes, you are up to 100% as long as all units move forward with the work.
Rich get richer.
It's, yeah. I mean, if like I said, triple decker Irish battleships, you know what I mean? They're going to work with you. And it's a no brainer. I talked to the guy, Sean. He's a fucking dynamite guy.
I'm going to have him come by my house and work.
Yeah, you already did that. That's right. And, I believe he said it's like the #1 program for insulation like saving in the country.
When I tell you I can tell you I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but let me just say this. I know what the savings are.
Yeah.
It's
kind of a no-brainer.
Let's put it this way. It's like going to Building 19, except the shit's good. All right? like back in the day. If you know what that is, that's a local reference.
Linway, baby. I have an email for you, and I said this last week, and I when I listened to it, I laughed because I was like, if you can't spell it, fucking Google it.
Yeah.
But insulationsituation@gmail.com. The phone number is 617-835-4784. My man Sean will take care of you. Mention this podcast and do yourself a favor.
Yeah. If you go into any of these, if you go to Extra Effort. By the way, my buddy texted me. He's like, my son's doing goalie for Extra Effort. He fucking loves it.
Hell yeah.
Already.
Hell yeah.
So if you go to any of these, I go, well, tell them that originally you heard about it through us. All right.
Yeah.
Just lie a little bit.
And not for nothing. Like Extra Effort Hockey, you don't have to play hockey. If you want to start playing hockey, and you want to see what it's like, it's fake ice.
Yeah.
It's not cold.
Synthetic ice.
If you don't like being cold, you can start from there. You know what I mean? And see if you want to, skate right there.
So exactly. So in any of these things too, like check out our page. Those links are on there. Last one, Lights Out Cornhole. It's interesting that I'm doing an ad read for your sister's sponsorship. Darcy, Danny's sister, runs Lights Out Cornhole, which is on Wednesday nights at the Irish American in Malden, the IA.
177 West Street.
Yep. Nobody has spent more time inside the walls of that place in the last 10 years other than you, probably.
I don't know. There's some legends in there.
Yeah.
There's some legends.
They're hanging some fucking jerseys from the Raptors for sure.
Absolutely. I will be up there.
Yeah. So I go quite often, at least once a month. I try to make it over there. Kids sports been fucking me this spring, but Darcy runs a great night. It's wicked. If you're from around here, it's super welcoming for like any level. So just so you know, just kind of how it works. She runs a round robin, which means that you're going to get partnered up with a bunch of different people. You're going to play at least 4 games. You're probably going to play at least 6 games. And you're going to meet a bunch of different people. And everybody starts out, when everybody starts out, they stink. But some people listen to the show probably don't know. But like I had a former career as I had a cornhole podcast. I've hung out with the best cornhole players in the world. Right. I've played with them. I know them. Anybody you've seen on ESPN, I've hung out with them. And let me tell you what, they all started from nothing.
Right.
Like they all tell the same story.
In a backyard or
Every
beach.
guy I had on my podcast, the guys you see on ESPN, the best in the world, how'd it start? I showed up at a blind draw, thought I was good, and I got my fucking ass handed to me.
Waxed.
Exactly. Yeah. So anybody going to these things, don't be nervous. Darcy's the most welcoming person of all time. I'm there, like I said, a lot. The drinks are fairly cheap. We're an Irish American. They're the best you can get.
They are. it's cash only, but
Cash only.
it is you're never going to get cheaper.
There's an ATM there. The people are absolutely wonderful. Wednesdays, and I can't be there this Wednesday, but I'm aiming for next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, I'm hoping to be there.
And I am not a good cornhole player. I play whenever I can. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I'm not saying it because it's my sister. I'm saying it because it's very well run. Put it this way, if you've never played before, you walked in, just hope you get hooked up with an Asian because they're unbelievable at cornhole.
There's an unbelievable, like we've talked about before, but there's a contingent of Asians who play in this area that like every one of them is, when I say that, lights out.
Right.
Lights out cornhole. By the way, you can find Lights Out Cornhole on Facebook. I'll link it in the thing
Hell
tomorrow.
yeah. The other thing is there was a kid that was recently on ESPN that plays there.
Oh yeah, Jacob. Yeah. He's been on there a bunch. Yeah. He's
So
you're gonna see everything there. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Absolute amateurs.
Yep.
That's a great thing about cornhole, dude. It is the all entry sport. Like
Right.
the best players in the world playing with like.
There's never been an issue like drama. Sometimes you get there with like cornhole and shit.
Oh yeah, not
it's all
there.
competitive. It's not.
No.
It's really not. You're there to have a good time. It's fairly cheap. I think it's like a $20 entry.
It's like $10.
Yeah,
dude. $10.
It's
and
no
then
brainer. And
you
it's
get
on
out there for $40.
And it's on a Wednesday.
You get a buzz.
It's on a Wednesday. There's nothing on TV. You've already binge watched everything on Netflix. Go down there, check it out. Tell Darcy that you listen to Paul McCork. She'll take care of you.
That's right. Yeah, and I'm planning on being there next Wednesday. So if you want to come down and watch me wax your fucking ass, you can do that.
And he will. I will not.
All right. So thank you to our sponsors. Let's recap the weekend. So I want to talk for a second before we get into the weekend and two things I want to do.
Sure.
Actually, I'll do that afterwards. Let's talk about the weekend. So unbelievable Jordan flu game for you,
buddy.
And by the way, that's my favorite expression. It's not. The first time I think I heard it was from Portnoy, but like it is the best. He got it from somebody else, but Jordan flu game is.
See, I really thought of that myself, and I'm a massive Boston guy. I don't think I've ever heard that, but that's fine. I can deal with that. What I will say is, Friday I got up for work. My left knee, which I know the camera's on it, but the pain level right now is at like a 9.
Yeah.
I've became best friends with ibuprofen. I am best friends with BioFreeze, no free ads. It's the only thing that's been working. I told myself, I said, I'm going to a wedding. People need me to perform. If you've never seen me dance, shame on you. All right, because I'm pretty good. I at one point in my life, I was like drawn back.
Well,
and
we all know you're better than Justin Timberlake.
I am better than Justin Timberlake.
That has been laid down.
But if I'm going to a wedding, you invited me for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm gonna fucking, you invited me to perform. So I did the best I could. The girl had to get her hair done, get her nails done. I still had to go to the store, but I had my 2 youngest all day yesterday, and I was ready to cry. I was like, I could never be a single father. Ever. If I was a single father, I would be like, can I live at the firehouse? I don't want to give up my kids, but this is a safe haven.
Yeah.
And I would just live there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight fires. I just want to live there. This is a safe place.
Yeah.
Dude, she left at like 7:15. I had them till 11:45.
Yeah.
Crying. I didn't know what to do. Women are fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Boys, I'm like, suck it up.
Yeah, exactly.
The 2 little ones. It was fucking brutal. So my knee's killing me. I'm walking up and down the stairs. I still gotta make this wedding happen. So I walk in. What an event. Great time. Shout out to Danny and Stephanie. Congratulations. They did one of the fucking greatest things ever. They had a screen, and right before the best man and matron of honor speech, they had a video of him walking into the house, and they're expecting. He walked into a fucking a onesie.
Oh, wow.
He started bawling. The place went fucking nuts.
Holy shit.
It was awesome. And then, they did it for their parents and their sisters. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. So, not only are they married, but they're about to have a child. So,
that's great.
Yeah. So,
Awesome.
it was a great time. It was at Anthony's. Food was awesome. Event was awesome. The people were awesome. And then I was like mingling on the dance floor, like just getting my feet wet.
Fucking testing out the water.
Little Bruno Mars. Blazer was still on. And then, the crowd wanted to teach me how to Dougie.
Yeah.
That was a wrap after that. And I felt no pain.
Of course not.
The fucking second that song was over, I was out. Out. I watched the rest of the Celtics on a fucking cell phone, which, fuck off. Talk about blowing the bunny.
I can't. Yeah.
Talk about blowing the bunny. But I was hobbling the rest of the night. But I gave him what I could.
Yeah.
Everyone saw that I still had it.
Exactly.
My knee right now is at a
This
9.
is how you know, by the way. This is like, and I am talking to you as the elder statesman of this podcast. I am 10 years older than you.
Yep.
To the day, pretty much around. As a great story that I'll never forget. I was like 16 years old. I used to work at the hospital, which is down the street from my parents' house.
Yeah.
So I'm walking home one day. There's that pond in Melrose, L Pond. There's two guys out there, acoustic guitars, mid-20s. I'm like, sick. This is when I'm learning how to play guitar. I'm fucking amped up. I'm like, let's go. So I go down and sit. I'm like, can I listen to you guys? Like, yeah, they're playing like fucking Hootie the Blowfish. They were good. They were in a band. Like, and it was right my speed, right? And then the guy's like, oh, man. He's like, how old are you? And I'm like, 16. He's like, you're not going to know what a real hangover is till you're 26. He's like, because I'm 26 and I got a fucking bang of a hangover. I'm like, that's how you know. Every time you get like those 10-year increments, shit starts going. Dude, when I tore my calf muscle in hoops like 5 years ago, I said to my father, I'd never been hurt in a hoop in my life. And he goes, yeah, you never been 44 or 42 when you were doing it.
Right.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, so my knee is...
But you played hurt.
My knee is through the roof in pain right now, but I'm here. You know, you got to make it. So, yes, the flu game was yesterday. I performed. Everyone loved it. It was a great wedding. And then this morning, we had a kid that I coached in Papuana, Mikey Sanchez, he plays at Michigan right now. He ran a football clinic. It's free. It's fucking awesome. There was like 6 or 7 Division I kids, all from the area, Malden, Everett, Cambridge. I think there was a couple, but it was for fucking $0.
That's awesome, dude.
It was $0, and these kids can make money now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah. I forgot about that.
So it was awesome. It was a great time, and it was funny because like I coached the kids. I coached a couple of them. I coached 3 of them anyway, and they still come up to me and call me coach and shit. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking taught you the game.
That's like, I'll never forget. There was like when Kenny Anderson used to be like my favorite like basketball player in the NBA at one point. And
Kenny Anderson?
Remember Kenny
Really?
Anderson?
Of course I do.
And they went and interviewed like his family members, like when they did like a little half-hour documentary on ESPN. I remember his uncle goes, Kenny? He goes, I put the pill in his hand back in 82. I lost it. I was like, give me that fucking main line, that shit in my fucking veins.
Yep.
But you played hurt. I mean, the good and bad. Dude, there's nothing worse than when you're hurt a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, because you're cruising along through life, and it's all of a sudden, like, my fucking knee's blown out. What the fuck?
That's the word. Like, luckily, like, I played sports my whole life. I didn't have a broken bone, like, that was sports related.
Yeah. I
never had that issue. Now, 34, I'm falling apart. So, like, this podcast has to work. Like, I'm falling apart. I went into work Friday, and I called my foreman. I said, if I'm late, it's because I'm walking into the building on speed 0.1.
Yeah.
And I got there, and he was on the lift, and he's my foreman. He shouldn't have to fucking touch a tool.
Sure.
But I was like, I'm useless on that thing today. I go, I'll be a ground guy all day. He was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And we banged it out. I did what I could. I was the tape measure guy. We fucking got it going.
Hey, teamwork. You know what I mean?
It was. I was in bad shape. Friday was the worst. Last night, no, I lied. Last night after me doing the
that's always the worst.
I was almost crying. How was your weekend though?
It was. So I saw 2 concerts this weekend. I don't see like. I learned before COVID, I came up with this thing where I was like, I always say yes to shows, like going to see bands because I love music.
I don't want to cut you off, but we told this episode 1. I didn't think I was going to be this hot.
Oh yeah, it's hot now.
Dying,
dude. It's hot now. Yeah. It's hot.
I am
it's
dying.
Hot.
We're doing this for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
By the way,
melting.
we're not even halfway in here. We're gonna be fucking. We're gonna look like Garth Brooks, like the end of the
I'm
night.
gonna look like
night.
Ace Ventura and the Rhino and fucking Ace Ventura too.
He was
getting a little
soaked.
warm in these ones.
This is by the way, this is the price you pay for fucking when we're millionaires. That's what we'll find out.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I went to the first night. It was Ryan Adams. You probably don't know who that is. He's like probably be the like a Bob Dylan of our generation type of guy, right? Go in there. My speed, totally. Like, one guy, one guitar, fills a Schubert Theater, and he's like, everybody's drop fucking pin quiet, right? And he's playing fucking sick tunes. I had said yes to Garth Brooks. Now, I want to qualify this. I'm not a Garth Brooks fan. I only know I Got Friends in Low Places and The Thunder Rolls. These are the only 2 songs I've ever heard, right? I do like country music, but I like more like Willie Nelson. I like old school and like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So My buddy's brother was a big fan, so we go down there, right? All right. First of all, there's nothing more that I love than watching people who are fucked up at concerts. There was a guy in front of me, like, you know how you walk up the Gillette, they got the fucking, you know, for the fucking non-rich people, we gotta walk 19 levels of like upgrade of like basically wheelchair.
Was that
fucking
Gillette?
Yeah, it was Gillette.
Yeah. The long fucking.
There was a guy in front of me with his girlfriend, and they were walking. She was trying to hold his arm. He was making better movement than Giannis in the paint with his Euro step, dude. He was like, wow, wow. Like, I was like, this kid's going over the edge. Anyways, we got in there. Took a while to get down there, whatever. Going to Gillette, fuck off. It's the worst.
Oh, how bad was getting home?
It wasn't as bad as getting there. But,
really?
But, so we got there, and I'm like, all right, I'm in the mood for this. Fucking stadium show, right? Like, I haven't been to a stadium show since U2. I'm like,
oh, don't admit that to me.
I'm like,
Lord.
no, U2, like 8 years ago, not like a long time ago. Why?
I'm not.
Oh, you don't like U2?
No.
Oh, all right.
I got mad when they put their
I'm not
album
wild.
out.
I'm not crazy about them. When they put this shit on Apple, that was
like, who do
fucking
you
weak.
think you
Yeah,
are?
don't plug into my phone. Like, when I wake up, you're in my underwear drawer. What the fuck? So, anyways, it was a fucking wild concert. Now, if you're out there and you're a Garth Brooks guy, I can tell you this. I know why you are. I get it. I am not. It had more in common with like a musical you would go to on Broadway than it did with like a concert. Like, it's a scripted event. Like, he's a great performer. It has more in common with a fucking like Southern megachurch than it does like a U2 concert, right? It's like everything is like his wife gets on stage, he's like, "Ooh, those tight pants, baby," and she's like, "Oh, honey, there's other people here right now. You know that?" It's like, dude, it's all scripted. Yeah, it's like a fucking play almost. I give this guy the credit. He introduced every band guy, and he's like, this guy's been with me. He's a fucking legend. And he sells it. The crowd loves him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's just a tubby older dude. And it was fucked up to watch it. Like, I'm like, this is like a weird thing. Like, and I'm looking all around. I'm like, everybody here loves this. Like, they can't get enough of it. So listen, mass appeal. I did think the weirdest thing that as I was looking around, I'm like, imagine what it must be like to be like, all right, you know what I can do? You know what my superpower is? I can go into any city in the fucking world, even the Northeast, and I can fill stadiums. Fucking football stadiums. 70,000 people 2 nights in a row. Yeah. I can do that, right?
It's nuts.
Like, that's... And I'm sitting there being like the guy at the first night at the Schubert Theater with like 2,500 people. I'm like, This guy's the best of all time.
Right.
And that's like, Garth Brooks is up there being like, what do you want to hear? like, hey, you know, like fucking, like, I feel like I'm at like the Topsfield Fair for the fucking cattle rally. And it's like, he's fucking murdering. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was wild. The thing that worked out great for me both nights was the first night we went, the dude is sober now, the guy Ryan Adams. So no beers being sold during the show. So I'm like, he played for 3 hours. I said to my buddy who's sitting next to me, I go, he has me for 2. I'll give you 2. But it's my favorite guy. I'm like, but I'm not giving you 3. Like, meet in the middle with me.
Meet in the middle,
you know what I mean? Sell the beer and, you know, whatever. So then the next night, so I kind of didn't get that drunk, right? Because it was a big break, and then we had a few beers afterwards. That was it. And then the next night at Garth Brooks, we get there a little late. We have 1 beer. Had a beer in the car on the way home. Psh, don't tell anybody. On the way there, not the driver, me. And all of a sudden I go down. The concession's shut down. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's 9:30. The guy's like, yeah, we shut down at 9:30. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So like, I had 3 beers last night. And then I was like, my buddy was like, oh, we're gonna have people over at my house afterwards. So I'm like, sick. But then I remember my daughter was having like a sleepover in the living room. I'm like, I can't be stumbling in my house at like 3 in the morning.
Right.
I'm like, oh, hey, what's your dad's a real winner, huh? Like fucking smell like cigarettes and shit. You know what I mean? So anyways, that
You
was
guys want some Dominoes?
that was my Garth Brooks experience. I'm glad I went. It was wild.
Yeah.
I definitely felt like a little bit like
Out of place?
yeah, like I'm like, this is I get that you love this. This is not for me.
Yeah.
Anyways, I wanted to do a little because we were drunk. I said I was going to do this before the yes, but I'm not. I couldn't read my writing about weird stuff. So before we get into tonight's subject, I want to name 2 things that I thought was super weird and get your take because they were my best things. But I couldn't read my writing. All right. And my buddy reminded me of one that I didn't have, which I think is actually my best one that I used to talk about all the time.
Fair enough.
Okay. I love going to the beach. I fucking love going to the beach. Okay, I'm a big beach guy. Teenager, whatever, like, go to the beach, totally normal. You know what's kind of weird? When you're like, asking another family, you're like, hey, you guys want to go to the beach together? And they're like, yeah. It's like, hey, you want to see my wife in her underwear? Like, that's what we're doing here. Like it's like, you want to see my wife with like no clothes on? Like, that's a fucked up Like, that's such a fucked up thing to go from like, hey, let's have like a barbecue, to be like, hey, do you want to see my wife in a bikini? Like, it's a ludicrous fucking proposition. Like, I don't know if anybody else has thought about that, but like, I'm like, isn't this weird that like,
I'm never not going to think about that now.
it's weird, dude. It's
And
so
like
weird.
I can't say the last time I went to the beach with like, other than like my girl's family.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna look at my mother-in-law like that?
No, but I'm
You
saying like,
fucking
that's
freak.
different. That's
No,
different.
no. But like that's what I know exactly what you're saying. But that's gonna be the first thing on my mind the next time I go to Nahant.
Exactly. And like, I will say this. Shout out to my buddy Jimmy Sear, reminded me about this. We don't go, like, we usually, like, for me, it's usually my family.
That's so fucked up.
It's usually my family, right? And if we go, we only go with like one other family that we're like kind of friends with, like we didn't grow up with, they're not family.
Yeah.
And let's just put it this way, like his wife, my wife aren't troping around fucking bikinis, so it's
Yeah.
not an issue. It's not an issue.
Yeah.
But I do see these other families showing up, and I'm like, dude, is this guy cracking stick to this guy's wife when he goes home tonight? Like, because that's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
It's super fucking weird.
It is that is
You want to see my wife?
you just put my brain
Like,
in a
instead of being like, do you want to go to the beach? You'd be like, do you want to see my wife in underwear this weekend? On
That's how-
Saturday at 9 in the morning.
That's
Wake
how-
a chic.
That's how you should start the conversation off.
You want to see
They're
my
like,
wife?
they're like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, at the beach, dude. And you'd be like, oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I suppose I will.
Yeah, I mean,
Twist my arm, I'll pay for parking.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and hey, listen, God love you. I mean, it is what it is. But in the second one, because I'm fast forwarding through these because we get to today's subject, dog ownership. But I don't know who came up with it. All right, so here's my thing. Is this a fucked up proposition? To be like, all right, we have 2 kids, we have a house, everything's going good. Let's get a wild animal and put that in here, like, and mix that in the fucking thing. Like, dude, who thinks that's a good, by nature, right? Like, it's like, who's like, oh, you know what we need here? A random animal to live in the house, and then let's get bullshit at it when it doesn't follow the rules,
Right.
that it doesn't know, because
Right.
it's a fucking dog. It's like, and I'll do the same thing. Like, my dog is like a 7-year-old Boston Terrier. Whenever it gets cold in the winter, he's a dick, and he just like once in a while just pisses on the wood floor, and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, what do you expect? He's a fucking dog. Like,
Right.
he's doing what he's doing.
Right.
You were the dickhead who bought him and said, hey, I want to bring a dog into my house. I just think if you think about it from a context of like, is it normal to be like, what is it about humans that are like, oh, you know what? I need to own an animal. I need, like, I get cattle and shit, like, but like, I need a fucking, like, I need a somebody.
Domesticate this thing.
And like, I'm like the weatherman on dogs. I'm 50-50. Like, it might rain, it might not. Like, I'm good. I like my dog, but like, I'm not that guy who's like dicking around being like, my dog's my Jeep every day. Like, you know what I mean? Like me and Roscoe out in the boat. It's like, get some friends.
Well, who said, oh, Tom Segura said it the best. He goes, I love my dog. He goes, but I hate dog parents. Oh, like,
Hell,
He goes,
100%.
he goes, it's not the same. He goes, if there was ever a time where I thought my kids were were threatened by my dog, I would strangle my dog.
With no hesitation.
No hesitation.
None.
It's so,
None.
so funny.
It's called, by the way, I get this, I think I didn't talk about this on here, but I don't think, but every year I have to take the dog, you have to take your dog to the vet so that eventually you can board him, right? So like we go away, they can take him at Petco or whatever.
Yep.
And he has to get his shots. And every year, these people are fucking highway like they should be robbing fucking, I'm telling you right now, vets they are fucking charlatans, okay? They are the worst. So this guy calls me every year and he goes, Brendan, I think we had this discussion last year. Like, he's my dad. And he's like, Seamus has got a heart murmur.
His name's
And-
Seamus?
Yeah,
Your dog's
my
name's
dog,
Seamus?
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he goes, and
I
now
always think human names are weird.
he goes,
but
now
Seamus
this year
is
I can
cool.
hear it on both sides. He goes, so he needs an echocardiogram so that we can put him on the medication he needs. And I'm like, every year, I want to be like, every year you call me and tell me this, and every year I tell you to go shit in a hat. I'm not putting this dog under a fucking microscope or an x-ray machine for like $900, right? When I know my kid's going to break his arm in like 2 months, and that's going to cost me $900.
Yeah.
Like, you know what happens when my dog has a heart attack? I get a new dog. Like, that's going to happen. Like,
It's a reality.
that's what's going on.
Listen, up at camp, right? The guy that delivers the wood,
Yeah.
sweetheart of a guy. Never had kids, never had a wife. He has a dog. And he's in the front seat, just like you talked about. So I go, you really love your dog. I'll never forget this conversation. He goes, yeah, man, we almost lost him. I go, oh, what happened? He goes, oh, he had a heart murmur or something like that. He goes, he had to get surgery. Now I'm paying this guy like $300 for like a quarter wood. I forget
Yeah,
what it was, quarter
yeah.
wood, half quarter wood, whatever. And I go, was it an expensive surgery? He goes, well, it depends on who you ask. And I go, this is going to be a great answer. He was like, it was $24,000. And I go, excuse me? And I swear to God, right? Like the dog's right here. Like I'm talking from the dog side. Like I'm petting the dog.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's all I got. And like, I wanted to cry for him because I was like, you live in the great state of New Hampshire.
Sure.
You don't have one friend but him.
Yeah.
And you spend $24,000 on him.
Yeah.
Now, I want to make this very clear. If you're an animal lover, there is no convincing you otherwise.
No.
I have no issues with animals. $24,000. Can you imagine if, and I don't even know if there is there like animal insurance?
There is. So, well.
But like, do you think he had it? Because I don't. The
Probably
guy
not.
delivers
Probably
wood
not.
for a living.
Probably not.
He
And
delivers wood for a
if
living.
you knew the exact price.
Shelled out Griffey number followed by 3 zeros afterwards.
Dude, I don't shell
Cash.
out. Listen, dogs are transactional beings. I don't get me wrong. I like them. They're amazing. I love my dog. But I'm saying they're not here for, what I mean by transaction, I mean like, they're not here for a long time.
Right.
They're here for usually around 8 to 10 years. Right. That's when a dog lives, right? So like, I'm not, if you get the 5-year deal, you get it. You know what I mean? And like, listen, if you got $20 million and 24 grand isn't shit, or if you're that guy and you got nothing to spend it on.
The guy's van looked like something out of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like it was from 1976. When he delivered the wood, he was on 2 wheels because he had 0 suspension.
Yeah.
Like he just shelled out 24 grand.
Dude.
Hey, and not an ounce regret. God bless him. I would not.
Dude, you know what it's like? It's like this. I feel about dogs the way I feel about religion. Like when I see somebody with a dog and they love that dog so fucking hard, right? When I get my dog down the street, I'm like, let's fucking go, dude. I gotta get to work. When I see somebody loving that dog so hard, it's like when I see somebody in church and they're like all in, I'm like, I want to be all in.
Yeah.
I want to be.
Can't.
But I can't. I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, I don't hate you. Sorry that you only see me once a year or twice, Easter and Christmas Eve. That's usually when I'm there.
And a wedding.
And then I make sure I say hi to the father. How you doing, Father Bill? And he's like, oh, I'll see you in a couple of months. You know what I mean?
You gotta let them know.
Gotta let him know you're there.
I gotta say, I'll tell the story right now, real quick. When me and my wife got married, we have to meet with a priest to get married at the church, right? So like we met with this priest. We wanted to get married in Salem. My mother's from Salem. So we met with this priest, and this guy was a heavy guy, heavy younger gentleman, and he had the most insane like lisp of all like I've heard. Like I'm not saying that just having a lisp could make. He seemed like he was gay. You know what I mean? Like he had very effeminate actions about him. And I remember, like, he's like, you know, and he was an awesome guy. We talk about, like, Patriots and stuff, and he's like, so you guys living together? And we're like,
dude.
So listen, we're like, I'm like, yes.
I know where you're going with
and he's like,
Can't
we
marry.
really can't support that.
Yep.
You know, you consider not living together until the marriage. And I'm like, I wanted to be like, I had everything to be like, dude, I'm pretty sure you're gay. And you're telling me, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, gay, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, don't tell me I'm a fucking piece. Like,
Right.
like you're acting like I'm like the worst person in the world.
Well, the wedding yesterday, right? So it was a very, thank God, and I mean that in all honesty, thank God that it was the quickest wedding reception I've ever went to inside of a church. I'm talking from start to finish, from the priest talking to the time they fucking kissed, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But I go, why the fuck are we getting married in Medford? She's a massive, I mean, her family owns everything in Malden.
Yeah.
Right? And he's from the Hunt. There's nothing that says, let's
No
go.
reason to be, yeah.
So it got brought to the attention. I'm talking to one of the guests, and they want to go to Immaculate Conception in Malden. And they said, do you guys live together? And they said, yeah. And they wouldn't marry them. They go to this fucking church, like, they're a big Italian family. They Bible thumpers like you read about. They got the statue in front of the house that you know exactly.
They got a gazing ball at
You
there,
know
too?
the fuck they got. You know exactly.
You got a couple lions and a gazing ball?
Yeah. In front of their house. And they're very religious.
Yeah.
And that must have put a dagger in their heart. Because, like, that was their church.
Sure.
So these people are affiliated with them, I guess.
Okay.
And they were like, yeah, sure, fuck it. And they didn't care, which was awesome. The priest was great. He made a couple jokes. One that I was like, I can't believe he just said that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, and now they're married. But I couldn't believe that. So now, brings me to my other point. I know we're going way off the fucking.
That's
record
fine.
right now.
This is how we do it here, by the way.
But
That's why it's called
when
pulling
my
the cork.
son, when my son was being, because my father had one rule: please get him fucking baptized.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I get it.
He wasn't there for my last 2 kids, whatever. But he was like, "Can you please get him baptized?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." That was one rule. His other rule was, I don't give a shit what his first name is. Don't give a shit. I could have named him fucking Bud Light.
Yeah.
His middle name better be James. And I was like, I'm fine with that.
Is that your dad's name?
So my father's real name was Donald James.
Okay.
No one knew him as Donald. On his gravestone, it says D. James Gillis.
That's so crazy because Pat McCracken that
Yeah.
you know, he's Donald Patrick, but he is known by Pat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Same thing.
So, like, no one's ever called him Donald except my mother, and they were, like, the best of friends.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But that's another story. So, what the fuck was I getting at?
Baptism.
Baptism. So they were like, his godparents, and they confirmed. My best friend, he's never seen a church in his life.
Yep.
Right? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, you need to get a friend that's baptized. I mean, confirmed.
Yep.
So at the time, I had a friend that was, and I wish him the best because he just had a baby and we're not close anymore.
Sure, yeah.
But how fucked up is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had my best friend there ready to go, and I'm not really religious.
Sure.
And they were like, no, you got to get somebody else.
Yeah.
And now I barely even talk to this kid.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah.
fucking, that's why I don't understand it.
I don't get it. Yeah.
But whatever.
It's dumb.
It's-
I just feel like it's almost like having a business that's really shit in the bed and then being like, you know what we're gonna do? Raise prices. Like, always be like, hey, by the way, you know what? We're going harder in on like you can't sin. Like,
Yeah.
why don't you just fucking admit defeat and be like, hey, gay marriage is cool. We're open to everything.
Yeah.
And by the way, the priests can all get married now. That's you want to solve the problem?
And you know what people would do? They would clap.
They would be like, yes.
They'd be like,
fucking
yeah,
finally,
fucking
something
right.
cool.
I can go back to church and have fun.
Exactly.
Not get fucking stale chips.
I could agree more. By the way, when you were telling that and you lost your train of thought, I was thinking about how, and we're not going to make this into the hyper-local thing, but when you did a review, like just to let the people at home know, there's a North Shore Beef page. I think we've talked about it before. Danny's up for like they're going to do a most valuable beefer. Like,
Again, yeah, it's like beefing games or something.
Beefing games
Yeah.
or something. So Danny's on there. He does a review. Some guys like, take some more fucking Adderall, buddy, or something. I'm like, that's the best thing is when these guys that I used to do, the cornhole guys, they'd be like, dude, from across the country, they'd be like, what are you on? I'm like, I'm on nothing.
Bud Light.
I'm on, you know what I'm on? I'm on fucking anger and attitude. Like, doesn't take a lot to get me wound up.
Yeah.
But when I'm ready, like, I'm like, this is like, we were talking about it last night, the way that, like, my buddy's brother's a cop in Melrose. He's like going off on this thing about that he's trying to deal with the city about. He's like,
Yeah.
he goes, they don't even understand. They go, this is what makes me happy.
Yeah.
Is to be like in the mix on something like this and annoyed.
My brother texts me often, and he told me today, he was like, you have half of Denver fucking listening to you right now. He was like, Denver's, they're all high on weed. Everyone is high. Never mind the airport, never mind the fucking, the IVs in the bar rooms or whatever. They're all high, they're just laid back fucking liberals.
Yeah.
And they were like, he was like, you really do have like a pretty decent following.
You know what? We have a few other guys out there that used to be big in the Cornhole podcast that I know listen.
Denver?
And my other buddy who I grew up with, Anthony Riccardi, shout out. Grew up, played a lot of hoops together, and got in a lot of trouble together. He lives out there. And so he's
Denver's
like,
awesome.
and dude, you know what it is too? Like I can imagine because it's like when I go away on vacation, like somewhere not like the Cape or something like that.
Yeah.
Where every Tom, Dick, and Harry's from like Malden, Medford, whatever. And you're down in like South Carolina and you hear the voice like, where are you from? It's like you just thirst for it. Like I'm like, I need
You
that.
just want to
Like,
talk about what's your favorite Chinese food?
you probably fought that kid last week in front of the Bell in Hand. Now you're like fucking buying drinks together.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Right, fucking right.
All right. It took us that far to get to this point, but
That's all right.
That's how it
hey,
is.
but before we go any further,
Yeah.
I will get fucking stabbed if I do not mention this.
Go ahead.
I just left, I don't know, a quarter mile down the street.
Yep.
Julie Wilcox Turner, happy motherfucking birthday.
Happy birthday.
Listen, this girl calls me every single Monday. She's my youngest Riley, my
Yep.
fucking miracle child. She's the godmother.
Yep.
She's the biggest Biggie fan on earth. She celebrates his birthday was yesterday.
Yep.
Biggie Smalls' birthday. She celebrates
I
it.
love Biggie's. Biggie's my favorite.
Like, you don't understand. Like, buys a cake, has balloons. Biggie's not here.
Yeah.
She's white. She celebrates his fucking birthday. She has a little, I got to take a picture of it and just put it on the page. It sits in the dining room. It's like, I don't know, 10 inches tall, 5 inches round,
Yeah.
and it's a shirtless Biggie. And like, whenever we're drunk on our back porch at a fire or whatever, we just like, where's Biggie? And we just bring Biggie out.
Happy birthday, Julie.
Julie is the greatest.
She also wrote us a review on Apple Podcasts, by the way. Yep.
Oh, she's a fucking
and let me
best.
tell you this, too. Happy birthday, Julie, first and foremost. I met her. We hang out with her at the 621.
Yep.
She's an awesome person. I actually see her in there a lot with her family.
Oh, her.
And then her son hangs out with Brendan, right?
She has 2 sons,
Yeah,
KT
what-
and Cole, a.k.a. KT and Tum Tum. Tum Tum will eat anything. We talked about him.
Yeah.
He eats anything. But those are his 2 best friends on earth. Her husband, Kevin's the best. Her
Yep.
father, Moochie, is the greatest human on earth. Her brother, Dennis, is the fucking balls.
Yep.
The whole family. The Wilcoxes are infamous in Malden. There's 100 of them. If you meet and they're 5 foot nothing. And they're the toughest pricks you'll ever meet in your life. The girls, the men, it doesn't matter. The dogs, fucking dogs, it doesn't matter. But they're just unbelievable people. Julie is my favorite. I've been on record 100 times. Julie's my favorite person on earth.
Yeah.
You can't be, you could fucking see a genocide. If you run into Julie Turner and she goes, hi, and she'll come up and hug you.
Yeah. And you'll feel good about it.
She's the greatest person ever.
Yeah, she wrote us a review. And by the way, that goes, we appreciate it. A lot of people have written them recently. So if you do listen, you haven't done one.
The Rebel Rooster.
The Rebel Rooster just wrote one.
He's
boy.
flawless.
Dude,
He's
that
flawless.
kid he had the best comeback. He sent me and you a text. By the way, if you don't listen to the Rebel Roosters Irish radio show on Cave Radio, I don't know what you're doing with your
You're an
life.
idiot.
You got
You're an
mashed potatoes between your fucking ears,
You're
kid.
an idiot.
Or you're Italian.
Yeah.
He is the best. He's a big traditional Irish music guy. He runs his own, John Costello runs his own podcast down there. It's awesome. He texted me and Danny. He was like, I know you guys both like to be claiming that you're like Melrose and Malton's favorite sons. He's like, I'm American. I'm Irish American's favorite son.
And he couldn't be more right.
Couldn't be more right.
Couldn't
Guys,
be more right.
By the way, talk about a head of fucking salad. That kid's got cabbage to fucking read about.
And you know what's wild? He has such a great batch of fucking lettuce.
He's got nice hair.
He didn't like. I don't think he liked the name Rooster when it first came out, but it fits him fucking perfect.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
But all right, man. Enough of the shout outs.
All right.
Let's
so
get on to.
we've been waxing balls for fucking too long. All right. So here's what we're doing tonight.
This is
like watching 15 like fucking what's it called trailers before the fucking movie starts. I can't wait till Maverick 2 comes up. I just want to say that. Top Gun 2.
I just watched the original, not for the first time, with my son.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Can we go to the new one?" I'm
Oh, dude, kids, it takes anybody that watches
He's
Top
11.
Gun.
Exactly.
They usually check out on every old movie. That movie, they're in.
They love it.
All right, so here's what we got. As seen on TV, right? So I thought about this the other day. And I texted Danny. He was like, I love this. When we were kids, or when I was a kid, so I also like the fact that we are 10 years apart because I feel like I have like I knew that your picks would be different than mine on this, although we kind of did. But as seen on TV, meaning this, it could be anything from, it's anything sold on TV. So meaning that like infomercials, right? Yeah. Like those when you're up at 11:30 at night after you watched USA Up All Night and cracked stick when you were 13. Like when what came on next was like the infomercial of like whatever they were selling, right?
It's so funny you had just mentioned this because an hour ago I was talking about how I would go to my mom worked at a bar and I'd be there till 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and we would walk home and there would be so many people driving by that knew my mom and me. Hey, Miss G, you want to ride? She'd be like, no, we're all set. And I'm like, we should definitely have taken that ride because by the time I get home, the only thing that was on TV was As Seen on TV ads. I swear to God, I just talked about this.
It's amazing. I also want to give a little bit of historical reference. I looked this up today.
Yeah.
Because Home Shopping Network QVC was like kind of the first foray into this of like selling shit on TV, right? Other than regular commercials. It started because some guy had a radio station and they had like an ad job with this company that made can openers, and they fucking ran out of money to pay him back, so they just gave him like 150 can openers, right? So the guy was like, "What are we doing with these?" So he got on one night and he was like, "Hey," he's like, $9.95. We got these can openers. He's like,
that's how it started.
He's like, "Call in." He's like, "And I'll put you on to the other guy." And he's like, "And we'll sell them and we'll send you a sticker from the station or whatever." Sold them out that night, and he started the fucking Home Shopping Network. That guy.
Wow.
That's how he fucking did it. He was just like a radio DJ. He's like, holy fuck, like this works. So that's how it happened. But I was exposed to it so much when I was a kid because my grandmother on my father's side would have it on. It would just be on the background. Like she wasn't really watching it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It would be like, we're selling this plate set of Abraham Lincoln. It would be like Marie in Illinois. And it'd be like, she'd be like, hello? Be like, this is gonna look lovely in my, it's like, there's only 97 of these left.
And
It's
you're
like
sitting there reaching for the phone, like, we gotta fucking get this Abraham Lincoln fucking thing now. Yeah.
Like it was the number. It's an unbelievable idea to have a countdown too.
Well,
Be like there's not that many left. Like
I
you gotta get
remember,
them.
I don't know if yours was a little different, but we had a lot of that on like the TV Guide channel.
Okay, like I know what you're talking about. Like
There was a lot of that. Like it wasn't just ads, and that used to be able to like buy shit on there.
really.
Yeah, so it was channel 42. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
And that's like where the TV would scroll and you'd find out if you know where your shit was. And right above it, that's like where maybe it was just like the Tupperware shit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like as seen on TV. But I do remember like the Home Shopping Network and all that.
Yeah.
That was on there for sure.
Now I'll give you some insight because as my son was in here right before you walked through the door, and he goes, "What's the subject tonight?" And I said, "As seen on TV stuff," and he goes, "You mean stuff that sucks and doesn't live up to its spilling?" I'm like, 100%. So,
100%.
all right, so I'll start, and then you go second.
Please do.
The first one I'm gonna go with, which is like an icon. I mean, I think it's like actually like almost a number one pick as you're going through this thing. Definitely top 5, 0 questions asked. The Foreman grill.
Do you have one right now?
I don't, but I've had a bunch.
I do.
You are. I wish we had it on here so we could put it on fucking TV.
No. I don't have the original one.
Oh, you got the little one?
No. I have the one that's a grill.
Okay, yeah. They've
It's got a
rebranded.
stand.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
All right, so if you
It's terrible.
if you don't know what the original George Foreman grill is, here's just the idea. Picture a waffle maker, right?
For burgers.
For burgers, except that it is slanted with a little catch bin.
Yep.
And the whole sell on the George Foreman grill was that this is a healthy alternative to cooking any other way because the fat drips down into the little pan here and then you're not going to be a fat dump, right? Meanwhile, George Foreman was a mess when he was selling the thing. I had one.
Yep.
My buddy had one. And it like caught the nation. It smelled so bad in your house because
It's just burn.
it just would burn. First of all, it didn't cook evenly.
Right.
It was so much worse than using like a cast iron pan, right? And the other thing was the cleanup on this thing was it was like, do you have 9 hours? Like the Foreman grill has more crevices than the fucking Grand Canyon, okay? And it's got a little drip thing. So now you're walking with picture like a pixie stick full of fucking grease and you're trying to get to the sink.
Here's the worst part though. When that came out, I was probably, 11.
Yeah.
I would make a burger, forget about that little tray of grease, and it would congeal overnight. Congeal. And I'd wake up the next morning and be like, damn, dude. And it's just like this jellied fucking caterpillar of fat. Dude,
Oh my God.
Here's a fun fact, though. Do you know who the original person was for that grill?
No.
And he turned it down.
Who?
What do you mean, brother? Hulk Hogan. Turned it down.
What
Could you
a
imagine?
fucking dummy.
Could you imagine the fucking... Do we have a fucking hurricane
I
happening?
think it's raining.
We
Well,
might have
that was wind.
We might have fucking Lieutenant Dan outside right now saying you call this a storm. But anyway, can you imagine the commercial with Hulk Hogan selling a grill? And by the way, George Foreman, it's a real knockout. Great.
Yeah.
But American flags, handlebar mustache, fucking bleach blonde hair, screaming at you on the TV, saying, you gotta buy this, brother. It's the American dream. And then here comes Jimmy Hart with his little fucking megaphone. It would have been the greatest. It would have been the greatest. And
I don't know if it would have sold as good though.
I absolutely would have.
You think so?
Absolutely it would have. And he is on record saying that's like his biggest regret.
Of that? Not the sex tape they did with that guy's wife?
I don't think that was it, no.
But that was fun actually.
Like George Foreman was always going to be a millionaire, but he is a billionaire now.
Yeah.
And he still couldn't think of any other name except George for his children.
It's all
Fucking
8 or 9 or whatever they
donkey.
are.
That's a donkey move.
That is weak. Come up with something better than that.
Stupid.
That grill, like,
Oh, no, it's downpouring, bud.
oh, nice. Awesome. All right, good news. Thank God thank God I pulled in the cushions from the fucking outdoor furniture that my wife
I
gave
was
me.
staring right there.
Anyways, first of all, I think that grill it's absolutely horrible. It doesn't do anything better for you. Like, you lift a fucking burger out of the pan, the fat's gone anyways. It's all around. It was a great gimmick. First of all, where do you put the fucking thing? It was a whole fucking disaster.
And the sale pitch was incredible though.
These things are.
That's probably, and I don't know what you have. You don't know what I have.
Yeah.
That's probably the number one draft pick.
It's a number one draft pick. Here's what I will say about all these things as we go through them. In general, they're focused on lower middle class to poor people to buy them.
But the best thing was like we already.
Rich people aren't getting a George Foreman. Maybe
No.
George Foreman grill, they might have. That might be the one exception.
I know, but the best thing that they had going for them was on the little side, 98 left, 96 left.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, Ma, we got to get a fucking George Foreman. So now the one I have, we live in an apartment where they wouldn't allow gas grills.
Yeah.
So I fucking beat him to the punch. They come out with the fucking George Foreman stand that you plug in. Yeah, fuck you. I ain't breaking any rules. Dude, you want to talk about cooking unevenly. I spent, I don't know, X amount of dollars on steak tips. And I'm like, this is going to be fucking great. And I was on the back porch with my little electric grill like a fucking weirdo. And I like my food rare to medium rare.
Yes,
These were
me too.
fucking still blue after like 40 minutes, dude. I'm like, all right, well, George, you fucked up this one. Let's go back to the original with the pan and the congealed fucking fat. But that's an incredible one.
All right, you're up.
Alrighty. I already know what it is. I don't even have to look. Shake weight. Now, the shake weight was, I don't know, the guy that made the shake weight is currently laughing in
Barbados or wherever his fucking palace is.
I don't know what he thought with the commercials, with people just taking 8 to 12 inches of weight and just shaking it in front of their face. Men, women, fucking dogs in New Hampshire. I don't know. They were just, yeah, it's really working the fucking shit right now.
All right, give the premise for anybody who hasn't seen it before.
So a shake weight is a vibrating fucking
Dumbbell,
tube.
basically.
It's a vibrating tube.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, yeah, it works out all your fucking muscles in the biceps and triceps. And the commercial were these shirtless men or like girls with enormous tits and bras, and they're just shaking this fucking thing, and the bazungas are just going everywhere. And people are like, yeah, and they're sweating more than we are right now in this garage. And they're going, yeah, this is the best weight ever. And I'm like, why the fuck is it? Who approved this? Who approved this? What happened to push-ups and pull-ups? And this person just going. So I need you, if you're not watching on YouTube or whatever, I need you to imagine like having a Lysol can in front of you that vibrates. That's probably 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And put it in between your fucking, put it right at your esophagus and just shake it. That was the shake weight.
That was the workout.
That was the workout. And you would sweat up a fucking storm, and you would then go into like fucking Mr. Universe or whatever, because all these guys were jacked to the gills, and they were like, yeah, this is the best workout I've ever heard in my life.
That's the dude. You know what the funny thing is? That's the sales pitch of all these things. It's like you start watching, you're like, all right, this is dumb, and then all of a sudden, some guy comes on.
But you cannot look away,
dude. I'll tell you right now. I sell people for a living. I love being sold.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe he's right. Maybe you will get jacked fucking doing this thing.
Yeah.
Like,
but remember no, because that's like another ass seat on TV. But the shake weight was. I couldn't when I first saw that. I go, "There's no way this is." Someone's playing a prank. I thought it was like Jackass or like fucking Impractical Jokers. I go, "There's no way this is real." And like the facial expression, I'm like, "This person's getting a load in their face."
Meanwhile, it sold millions of fucking units.
Yeah, because it was 1995. If you call right now,
yeah.
And you're like, I need this massive
The
dick in my
pricing also kills me because it's like always $19.95. It's
never $20.
My favorite is for example, let's just use the Foreman grill.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like this: if you call now, we're gonna throw in the mini Foreman grill, and these two spatulas. I gotta fucking call now. If I don't call now, I'm not getting the mini one.
Imagine getting all these gifts. What are you gonna do with a mini? What are you gonna do with a mini?
Nothing. Put
What
your
are you
hand in it, fucking warm it up.
Make fucking White Castle sliders? No. Just make smaller burgers.
Exactly. And by the way, it got even more. If you can imagine, like what it's like to be in a house in New England in the winter, when you have just go back to that for 1 second. your parents decided to get the family version of the Foreman grill,
Yep.
and you got 4 burgers going in a fucking heated house.
Yep.
It's like you're basically in the back of a fucking kitchen in like Queens, like making burgers. Like it is like you want to know what it's like to be a fucking sous chef? Like get a Foreman grill, put 4 burgers on it, turn the heat up in your house. Like that's what it's like basically.
Dude, that's what I say. Like I remember like thinking like, wow, man, I can, because it came out when I was like 11, so I'm like, I'm a fucking chef now. So I would make a frozen patty, right? Whatever. Maplewood Meat Market had the fucking best ones right down the street. Oh my God, they were
I drive by there every day. I saw your dissertation on them, by the way.
So good.
I know how you feel about them.
But, she's like, make a fucking burger. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking I'm actually doing something. I do nothing. I remember the first time I actually did, I put cheese on it, put the lid down. How do you think that worked out? Fucking idiot, right?
Hey, let me ask you, what were your go-to like cooking things when you were a kid?
Honestly,
I wasn't like I'm saying
no,
like
I love cooking now.
Yeah.
I didn't really
no,
stop.
but I'm saying you
No,
got,
I know.
you get left alone. You got to make yourself something.
Yeah, it was probably like a fucking Hot Pocket or like something like that.
Ramen was always
ramen noodles.
Always.
Yeah.
Because it was cheap.
Yeah.
It was always there.
But I am, when I tell you like when I was first left on my own, I was like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
I can't afford to go out every goddamn day.
Yeah.
I literally learned how to cook when I was like, I don't know. I didn't have one of these great Italian grandmothers fucking telling me how to fucking crush grapes. I didn't fucking crush tomatoes. I didn't have one of that. I learned late in life, and I'm pretty good now. I'm unfuckwittable with some certain shit.
Yeah, you're solid. Yeah.
But I'm very late to the game. Very late to the game. But ramen noodles, Hot Pocket, anything in the microwave, I was all in.
Yeah.
I was also known to eat frozen French fries, which is fucking psychotic.
That's insane.
Yeah, I still
That's
do
wild.
it. I will also peel a potato and eat it like an apple.
Oh, what?
It's I can't make it up. Why would I lie to that?
I'm not thinking you're lying.
I'm not saying it's not, but
I've never heard of that before in my life, and it's unbelievable.
some people make mayo sandwiches, so there's that. Fucking freaks.
All right, shake weights out of the. By the way, I think those are 2 top draft picks right there.
I would.
I
say
think
so.
we've already.
We'll get to the other ones.
Okay.
But yeah, shake weight to the face is just fucking.
This is probably my favorite one. This is the one that made me think of it. And it was well before your time. You were probably like an idea at that time. Not even a person. So when I was a kid, around 10 to 11, this product came out on the internet. Like not the internet, because there was not an internet. On the TV, and I was like, I knew enough to know this was ridiculous. Like that's when I knew like seeing on TV shit was bullshit. There was a thing called the Flowbee. And what the Flowbee was it was an attachment that went on your. This is not a lie. If you can look it up on the internet. If you don't look up the first one that you see because that's a fake commercial for it. There's a real commercial for it. The Flowbee went on your vacuum cleaner, and it looks like the front of like a sucking vacuum cleaner, like with the claw type thing, like the 5 spread finger type thing. Yeah. And what it does, it's clear at the front. And what it does is it has different level of attachments, and it gives you instructions on how to cut people's hair with your vacuum cleaner. And I tell you, this was a big deal. And like for a kid, first of all, whose mother cut my own hair.
Wait a minute. This goes on the vacuum?
This goes on the vacuum. That's how it operates, off the vacuum. And it sucks your hair up and
all of a sudden you're a baba.
And all of a sudden your mom's a baba. Yeah. And she's cutting everybody's hair. And by the way, the thing that killed me, I rewatched the commercial for this episode. The guy's like, how long does the blade last? Whatever. He's like, I mean, this one's got about, I don't know, 2,700 cuts on it. I'm like, 2,700 cuts? Like, how many people's hair are you cutting a day? This thing just came out. Like, who are you cutting with this fucking
thing?
It's
like a 15-year career.
Yeah, exactly. You've had this thing in the back pocket for fucking
Edwin
10 years.
Scissorhands, calm down, buddy.
So anyways, it was this product that
that
like I was fascinated by because anybody who would listen to the show who knows me from college or knows me from growing up together knows that when I was a kid, my nickname for pretty much everybody who knows me from Melrose, like they call me Mo. And the reason they call me Mo is because when we went to basketball camp, my mother cut my own hair and I had a bowl cut. I look like Mo from the fucking Three Stooges.
That's awesome.
So it followed me all the way to college. I love it. It's a great nickname. My dad calls me Mo, right? But like when I saw that commercial, I'm like, I wonder if I could get this Flowbee and get rid of this fucking bowl cut. I've been stuck with saddle with like fucking bricks. Dude, I remember my buddy's mother was a hairstylist and finally she's like, can I cut your hair? I'm like, yes!
Anything.
Like anything,
Literally.
dude. Anything.
Yeah.
My daughter made fun of me the other day. She goes, How did you live when you had a bowl cut as a kid? I'm still getting shipped for this, and I'm fucking 46 now.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
that's a tough gig.
So, anyways, the Flowbee, absolutely ridiculous. Look up the commercial for it.
I have to see that.
It's ludicrous. Can you imagine the idea? And
No.
the whole sales pitch was unbelievable because it was not a 1995 product. I remember it was like a $60 situation, right?
Yeah.
And I remember they would just do the math. They hit you with the math. They're like, all right, you're paying $12 a haircut, and you're paying for 5 people. There's $60, right? And you're doing that twice a month. You get $120 a month, right? You're saving $120 a month already. You paid itself off in the first month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these guys are fucking geniuses. Why does everybody have a Flowbee? We're going to put hairstylists out of business. Turns out, though, that those haircuts sucked. You know what? I wonder if I could get on eBay and find a Flowbee, then you can cut my hair with it.
I would only hope you would let me.
So look it up, the Flowbee. I think it's one of the first of the game. Unbelievable. You're up next.
All right, I gotta remember what show this girl. Oh, got it. All right, Thigh Master. Do you remember it?
This was when I told my wife the subject.
Yep.
The first thing she said was Thigh Master, and it was the first thing you replied to me.
So I remember, again, TGIF, step by step. That's why I had to look up. I was like, it wasn't fucking Family Matters. I was thinking of the shows on TGIF. That was my shit. Step by step, she was the mom. With Patrick Duffy was the father.
This is how we know we're older than us, because she was like the hot piece of tail, like on the first show I saw her on.
Here's where
Suzanne Summers, correct?
Here's where I figured out I got bonus. So she came out with she was a spokesperson for Thigh Master.
Yeah.
And she had these royal blue fucking
Tights.
They looked like the fucking outfits from American Gladiators. They were royal blue, stuck to her body, and out. First off, at that age, I didn't think I was looking at older women. Definitely looking at women.
Yeah.
But then the Thigh Master came out, and I was like, what is happening here? And she's got this fucking I'll never forget, red ball, and she's on her side, and the thighs are just going ham on the fucking 90-degree angles, 45-degree angles. And I'm going, wow. Mom's hot. And she fucking sold me. I'm an 11-year-old boy, and I wanted a Thigh Master. Why? Because hot mom Suzanne fucking Summers had one with the American Gladiator outfit.
How many guys do you think bought their wives Thigh Masters that year? And then
buddy.
Then got divorced. Sent divorce papers immediately afterwards.
But all it was it was just
like a clamp. It
was a clamp.
Yeah.
It was picture a hand clamp. The one that you buy at Dick's.
Yeah.
That for your thighs.
Exactly.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
There was nothing to it. Whoever thought of that, they were all genius. All these people are geniuses.
Yes.
Because it didn't really fucking work.
Yeah.
But you get the right people behind it, it sells itself.
Yes.
And then I remember the second and third commercial, it wasn't just her. It was a crowd of moms, sisters, and they were just all on their sides, fucking going like this. And I'm like, and I catch myself just looking at these fucking women on their sides working out.
Yeah.
It was porn.
Yeah, of course it was.
Fucking porn.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're selling sex.
All these dads are like, it's time for you to go to bed. You know what I mean? I didn't live with my dad, but I know, imagine don't you have homework to do? No, it's April vacation. Get the fuck upstairs. You know what I mean? Suzanne Summers might have been the number one mom I looked at.
Can you imagine just thinking about you just said that was at that time it was almost the first time I remember I saw the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. I was like, oh, this is I can see this woman's nipple through her shirt. I mean, I might just cum my pants right here. The thing just got slipped through the doorway. But do you remember because I think now obviously we're so desensitized to all that stuff. Imagine you just took you get a time machine, bring a guy back from the 1800s and be like, hey, check out just let him watch
this is life now.
Yeah, dude.
I would just put on
your phone.
I would put on
show TikTok.
I would put on the WAP video, and I'd be like, just enjoy this. So a quick story about not 18.
Guy just uncontrollably cracked.
So I was on a bocce team with my old boss. His father. It was his father. He's got to be in his 80s right now. One of the greatest guys on earth. Just a character, right? We're on a bocce team. For people that don't know what bocce is, it's guinea bowling. That's all it is.
Yep.
Italian bowling.
Yep.
But It's a fun game. It's a great back. It's just right.
awesome.
It's up there with cornhole.
My neighbor's got a full court 2 doors from here.
Really?
His backyard.
Oh, we're gonna make that happen.
Oh, we can go over there. Yeah.
But anyways, he's sitting directly next to me as we're watching the game. I'm in the game, and he goes, "Hey, Danny, do you got any of them dirty videos on your phone?" And I go, "Sure do." I go, give me your phone. And he had a smartphone. He had like an Android or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just put it on, walked away. He didn't know what to do. I put the volume on 100. He's a dirty old man. Put the volume on 100, walked away. And he goes, Danny, I go, Chucky, that's your phone. It's your phone, Chuck. It ain't mine. I didn't put this shit on. I go, you asked me, you fucking prick, you dirty old man. Old men are the best. Because they're innocent.
Yeah.
Right? They're old. They're geriatric. They don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. They know what's going on. That's all crock of malarkey. I can't wait to be that guy.
I love it. I love it.
Yep.
All right, I'm up, right?
You do it.
Okay. Here's one that fascinated me as a child. First of all, this guy's like harkens back to like a thing that's been going on forever. It's like, as people, like, I think we want to believe things so bad. When I was a kid, like, my parents live across from the library, Melrose Public Library. So as a kid, right?
On Main Street?
I mean, I'm West Emerson. It's like,
Yep.
As a kid, like, I would go over there a lot because, like, there was nothing to do because I didn't have any internet and I didn't have any fucking TV. Was only good on Saturday mornings at that time, right?
We
so it was
get-
like,
you're a nerd, dude.
Yeah, I'm an older guy. Okay, I'm a fucking guy before the internet. Anyways, so I would go over there and I would stay in the same section. I would go in like they have a section for like ghosts and like fucking paranormal shit, and I would just read books about like the Loch Ness monster that doesn't exist. Right? Some guy saw it one day. Miss Cleo's Psychic Hotline.
Oh my God, what a great one.
Dude, this shit would come on. First of all, I think it turns out
Call me now if you're free to out reading.
I'm not sure she was Jamaican.
No, she was from like fucking.
She's from Queens or something.
Queens,
like that.
bro.
Yeah. So she was not Jamaican. She was from Queens.
God, me now if you're free to out
She
reading.
put on an unbelievable Jamaican accent. And then she would sell you on like that she's gonna like fucking tell you what's gonna happen in your life.
Yeah.
Let me just say this right now.
can't
I love to believe in shit. If you're a psychic person, do myself a favor. There's a couple tree services that you can find. Put your head in the wood chipper. You are a fucking idiot. Santa Claus isn't real either. That is fake shit. Okay, those people are fucking scammers. They're not like everyone's gonna be like, well, did you hear this? No, you know what? Miss Cleo's a fucking scam artist. You think you're calling some guy at the call center? It's probably fucking Danny. And like, hey, tell me your problems. I'll tell you like what's gonna happen down the road.
And I'm sitting here with a Bud Light going.
I'm
yeah.
getting the. By the way, I'm getting a feeling like a J name, like a J, and then it'll be like, no, oh, it's right next to there. It's an L. Larry.
Larry.
Yeah, that's my uncle. Yeah, I'm getting Larry, but he had dark hair, right?
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
He
it
said
is-
thanks for the drink.
Yeah. He said, exactly. He wants you to know he's good place right now,
Yeah.
and he forgives you.
Great.
Oh, does he? You fucking scam artist, fuck.
Have you seen the newest one with the? And I stay on this because I
Yes.
fucking hate this bitch. But have you seen the new one from Staten Island?
No.
All right, so Teresa Caputo or something like that.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Maggie.
Fuck her.
I
Fuck
love
her
it.
sideways. She sells
The
out
Long
these-
Island Psychic.
Yeah, she is.
yeah.
I thought it was Staten Island, whatever, same shit. But my girl loves her, and she's like, "You gotta watch this shit." I go, "Do I?" She's like, "Who in the crowd has an aunt?" And everyone's like, "Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! It's me!" Is it? I hope you have a fucking aunt. If you're not, you're a lonely place, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, then she looks. She's like, "Yeah, that one looks all right." And then she goes, "All right, so your aunt wants me to tell you, you look beautiful tonight." And she always said that. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
Dude, I had a psychic one time that me and Maggie met on a honeymoon. Like, the lady was like, "Can I read your palm?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, because I know I'm a fucking disaster. First of all, I'm sure my life's not going to end great. I don't need you to tell me that. Like, I don't need the fucking cliff notes.
Christy
I already fucking know.
is massive into like psychic reading.
Maggie is too. Maggie, my wife, Maggie, loves that shit.
I don't understand.
We'd get them together. It'll be fucking haywire. We'll be in a fucking psychic place.
Yeah.
So Miss Cleo, total bullshit.
Oh, I mean, but again, probably top 5 commercial of all time. She's just in there. She's
With the fucking headdress on?
the whole. Which, by the way, I know Jamaicans. I don't know where the headdresses came out.
Dude, talk about appropriating fucking some shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're taking, you're not Jamaican. You're fucking stealing this shit.
Stealing this shit, and then like you dress like you're from Africa.
It
was very strange.
There used to be this guy when I worked at Home Depot in Chelsea. There used to be this guy that worked there, and he was Jamaican. And this dude, he's like an old black guy. And me and this kid Al was like younger than me, and he was going on spring break to Jamaica. And I remember he goes, Al, whatever you do, he goes, don't go to Kingston. He goes, Al, they take the cream out your coffee, boy. He goes, don't go there, Al. And I'm like, I don't think he was fucking gonna be traveling down to Kingston in his fucking spare time.
Yeah, no, any one of those Caribbean islands, traveling packs.
Yeah, you don't want to get fucking.
Packs.
You don't want to find your liver on the side of the road.
Man, they get it how they live out there. That's it.
So yeah, Miss Cleo, complete fucking
fraud.
By the way, unbelievable that she made this episode, not the fraud episode.
Oh, she's a fucking.
I also wanted to say this as we're midway through this thing. We are going to be doing like repeat episodes, meaning like as we come up. This is our 9th episode.
Is it really?
Yeah, we're gonna. So 10 will be like whatever. That'll be our 10th episode. We'll do next week, and then. As we go forward, like we're gonna redo frauds, and every 10 episodes we're gonna do frauds and good guys.
Frauds and good guys. We have to. That's I think that's our bread.
That's our bread and butter. Yeah.
And I think about them often. Like
I do too.
I have so many frauds and good guys.
Yeah.
And good guys.
All right, you're up.
Let's do it. All right. Set it and forget it. Now, I want to be very clear. I just told you I was very late in my life with cooking.
Yes.
This is a product I would have bought. But it doesn't work. Like everything that we talk about, Cleo.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't fucking work. When I think of set it and forget it, I think of Boston Market.
Yep.
The rotisseries, and they're just fucking going. And Boston Market, fuck what you heard. It's what you're hearing. They had great fucking chicken. And
unbelievable chicken.
I don't care what anyone says.
I agree with you.
As far as like a chain, right? So when I would see this thing, I'm like, and they would put on the commercial, the guy's fucking got the
explain what it is. Like, just give it like an overview.
It's literally what it is. It's set it and forget it. So you would take the fucking a whole chicken.
Yep.
Poke it with the fucking spears.
Yep.
Throw it on there for an hour and a half or whatever, and it would spin and rotate. Spin and rotate, spin and rotate. I know it sounds dumb, but if you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it would cook the whole chicken. Bing, you fucking set it and forget it. As soon as it binged, brought it out, it was a perfectly cooked chicken. No, it was not. It would come out as dry as fucking the turkey in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And it was the worst fucking thing you've ever seen in your life. But the commercial, they'd be like, you could do anything with this thing. And they would put different types of fucking chickens, turkey. You could put steaks in there. If you put a fucking steak in a set it and forget it, kill yourself. You fucking loser. Learn how to cook on a cast iron grill. Learn how to cook on a fucking anything else but a fucking set it and forget it.
Yeah.
They'd be like, and look at these vegetables. How the fuck do you cook vegetables in that thing? How? It's fucking sticks.
Why would you?
And they had a tray. And you're like, no, man. Like I love vegetables, but on the grill, there's nothing better.
Oh yeah,
grilled vegetables.
100%.
I'm not gonna throw it in some fucking crematory thing.
No.
Just let it fucking
fucking microwave box.
Yeah, I'm all set with that, dude. Set and forget it. That's one of those things where like I'd come home at 12 o'clock at night with my mother. That would be on, and I would watch that. If it wasn't an as seen for TV, it was one of those fucking CDs with 100 songs on it. And I'm just sitting there, here and now, just fucking singing. I'm like, I promise to love. I'm like, I can't fall asleep. And then I'd switch the channel and as fucking set it and forget it would be on there.
Fucking freedom rock, man.
Yeah. So great. I again, they had me by the fucking horns when the commercials were on. But what a fucking shit product.
Oh, junk, dude, junk. I got all right. I think we got one more each. Is that good?
Two. I think it's two more.
Two more. All right, we got two more.
I
I got enough. All right. Okay. Here's mine. Nutrisystem. Okay. Let me explain to everybody at home. I want to tell everybody something right now. I have lost I've been as fat as two. Like Danny asked me one time. He's like,
I did.
Danny's asked me to see my like. If you go through my old Facebook pictures, like I've been like 245 before. I've been 185. Right now, I'm like 208. Right. I can tell you, I could go up and down. I'm like Christian Bale and fucking. I can go up and down like no problem. Let me tell you the problem.
Do you do roast beef ears by any chance?
Let me tell you the problem. Well, I mean, I'll get into that, but Nutrisystem, okay?
Yes.
Weight Watchers. Let's throw them all in here, right? What's the shake company? Slim Fast. Yeah. All right. Let me tell you something. If you drink 2 drinks for breakfast and lunch, and then you have a piece of fish and some fucking vegetables, yes, you're gonna lose a shitload of weight. Do you know why? You're not eating any food really anymore. Right. So what these companies say is basically like, listen, this is fucking easy, right? In theory, it is. It does work. All these things work.
Yeah.
But what you have to realize with like when I lost I just did a contest last year, a weight loss contest that I dominated people in. I went down to 185. I've been 185 since I was a junior in high school. Because I'm like, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I fucking people were like, are you dying? I'm like, I know I'm doing good right now. They're like, how'd you do it? I'm like, you want to know how I did it? You really want to know? I'm like, I didn't eat till like 4:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, before I did, I worked out for 48 minutes, and then I ate like a piece of chicken and some salad. You don't eat. That's the secret. That's the secret to all these diets.
Imagine.
By the way, that's what kills me when people are like, I can't lose weight. I'm like, oh, no shit. Because you eat steak and cheeses all day. That's why you can't lose weight, you fat fucking loser. I'm like, anybody can lose weight. It's a mathematical fucking equation.
Right.
So Nutrisystem and all these places got it right, which was like, hey, here are 2 things you can eat. And then
wasn't that a pill? It was a pill, right?
Nutrisystem was the pill. Sorry. Okay. I'm thinking Slim Fast. But like
right.
Nutrisystem was the pill, right? Which, by the way, diet pill is basically just amphetamines. Like it's just like fucking wires you up to like the gills.
Yeah.
But like, let's go with Slim Fast, okay? Let's pump them into all one thing.
Sure.
Weight Watchers, the points, right? I'll never forget this, the points. I'm just putting all the diet people together right now, all these scumbags. My mother was a Weight Watchers person. My sisters were Weight Watchers people. My father was a Weight Watchers person. My mother made these. So the way Weight Watchers used to work, I know it's changed now, is that they'd assign points to everything, right? And you got a lot amount of points.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
So, Danny, this cup of fruit that I'm going to give you is 1 point. It's a 1 point fruit cup. I'll never forget. Sitting in my mother's kitchen, I'm eating a fucking fruit cup, thinking, whatever, it's a fruit cup, it's in the fridge. She's like, are you on the points? I'm like, what? She goes, are you on the Weight Watchers points? I'm like, you know I'm not on the Weight Watchers points. She goes, if you're not on the points, don't eat the cups. She goes, there's a bowl of fruit salad in there. The cups are for the points. I'm like, you've lost. You know when somebody's angry, they're on a diet, they've lost their mind. They're yelling at you. She's like, if you're not on the points. I'm like, Jesus, I'm just trying to have fucking some grapes and a fucking bowl of watermelon here.
If you don't mind.
Motherfucker. You know what I mean? All those people did, it's genius, was just say, hey, there's nothing people want to buy more than like beauty, looking like Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, right? Yeah. Everybody wants that, right? So when they sell you on the fact that you can get it, but the reality is, that's why the only thing I didn't put on my list, but I'm going to give it one quick second because I've done it before, P90X. You know why that's a successful one? Because it actually works. Because it's like, yeah, genius. If you work out for 65 minutes a day, every day, you're going to probably be in good shape. Like, that's the bottom line. Because you're just sitting on your ass reading fucking newspapers all day right now.
Absolutely.
So anyways, all the diet people can fuck off.
Yeah.
If you sell a pill for dieting, by the way, you're a fucking piece of shit. Because we all know that doesn't work. Like, it doesn't work.
And that was a huge market. Huge.
Dude, it's still like a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
People buy that shit all the time. They're like, oh, I'm going to do this cleanse. I'm going to do this. It's like, I just the math. You want to do some math? Did you go to 5th grade? Yeah. I can help you out with this, right? Here's 1,800 calories a day. You're eating 2,800. This is how we got a 1,000 delta right here. That's why you're a fat fuck. Trust me, I know. And by the way, I know exactly how it works.
No, I said it to you off air one day. I go, you fluctuate like a motherfucker.
Oh, dude, I'm like literally my brother-in-law is like, dude, you fluctuate more than like actors for roles. I'm like, but it's always for a role that I'm not gonna get. Like, there's no role. I'm just doing it. Like, I'm just gonna get fucking. What am I doing this week? You know what I mean? Am I getting fat or am I getting down? All right, you're up.
This one hits home because I am a massive ass guy. The booty pop pants. So I don't even care if this is on air or not. Everyone looks. All right.
Oh, people.
It's reality. It's fucking reality.
Yeah.
These pants had pillows in them.
Wait.
To make you look like you had an ass. It was a woman.
This is a real thing.
Women's product. They were called booty pop pants. Booty pop pants. So you could put a fucking level on this girl's ass. It'd be fucking perfectly.
You could eat fucking Egg McMuffins on
Yeah,
it.
and then all of a sudden you throw these pants on, and this poor guy that's like, wow, that's a great ass. And then he gets her home, and they start fondling with each other, and then he can play chess on this fucking thing. You think he's gonna be happy? That's a fucking bullshit. That should have never been approved ever in my fucking life.
You are hitting. When I tell you you're hitting my home base right now, I've had this conversation with my friends so many times.
It should have never been approved.
Okay, and let me tell you right now.
And you know it was a guy. Like, why are you angry?
100% it was a guy.
Why are you angry at that, bro? That wasn't a girl that made that product.
No.
You got mad because you were like, wow, I really want to look at ass all day. So I'm going to make fucking jeans for girls that don't have zero ass at all. At all. And then when they fucking finally hit a home run, or they think they're gonna, and all of a sudden it was a foul ball when they take the fucking pants off.
Let me give you my thoughts on this. Okay. As I just said, like I fully admit this. The one thing I have going for me is my personality.
Yeah.
I am not gonna blow your mind with my face. I'm not the worst looking person in the world, right? If I go to the beach with you, I take. Speaking of going to the beach with you, if I take my shirt off, you're like, "Did you have 3 kids?" Like that's how my body looks. My body's a mess. But I will say
my
this:
sister told me. She told me once I took my shirt off, and I'm skinny.
Yeah.
I have a body like the Grinch. I'm skinny, and I have like a little pouch.
the Grinch.
Yeah, it's like a pouchy here, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. I'm a dad bod now, right?
Yeah.
But my sister Darcy, shout out to Lights Out Cornhole, once said to me, "Danny, you look like you need a blood transfusion." That's how white I am. All right, so there's that. And I am fucking burnt right now. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. My face.
Oh, I'm burnt too.
Burnt
Yeah,
to a crisp.
yeah.
Burnt. Hate my life.
All right, so here's my thought on it.
Please.
What would be the difference between this, right? Like, if I was walking around, I'm packing a fucking like a
Lysol can.
Lysol can in my
Comcast
pants.
remote.
Yeah, and I'm just like, hey, what's up? And we get home and I just throw it on the table and I'm like, all right, you want to hook up?
She's not going to be happy.
like, dude, I'm sorry. That is ridiculous false advertising. And by the way, I'm not body shaming or judging. I'm not like I just said.
No, but guess what? That is false fucking
I don't want to
advertising.
find out in the back end.
Right.
Don't sell me a Coke and it's got fucking apple juice in it. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. When I saw that ad, I go, how does that get? That's a Halloween costume. If you're going as Kim Kardashian, that's one thing. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not. No, you're going to fucking Mix 360 like a degenerate loser that you are.
Like, yeah. And at some point, you have to be in the back of your head being like, at some point, the fucking coming home to roost here. All right,
Oh.
people are gonna find out that this is not my ass.
Listen,
This is a fraud ass.
and how about the woman or fucking hims, hers, whatever you want to do these days? How about the audacity of buying them? Who do you think you are?
Yes.
Who do you think you are? Own that fucking little ass. I don't have an ass. I don't have an ass.
I have zero.
My son has a fucking dumpster. He's got a massive ass. He has the Puerto Rican ass, and that's fine. I do not.
Yeah.
That's fine. I am a Caucasian.
Yeah.
If you have an ass, own that. Own it.
Yeah.
Own it.
Yeah.
If it's small, own it. If you sit down and you're 3 feet taller, own it.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. That is bullshit.
Don't put some fake ass in
that. That person should be in jail.
They should be tied and feathered. They should be taken through town.
They should be put in jail.
Yeah. And like dangle the fake ass.
And most people would say, well, what about a push-up bra? No. Little different. Push-up bra. A bra is supposed to support the bosoms. I'm okay with that. This is fake.
This is fake shit. I agree with you.
It's fake. This is like giving me a vegan burger. You fucking clown.
Dude, I will say, I can't use the woman. I can't use the person's real name, but let's just say the woman's name is Lauren Roberts. That's not her name, right? This is not the person's name. I don't know anybody named Lauren Roberts, as far as I know. Let's just say her name's Lauren Ahern, because I don't know Lauren Ahern.
Okay.
There's a woman that used to go up to my kid's school, drop off her kids, who loved wearing those like pants that make your ass, like that pull your ass up. You know what I'm talking about?
Like the Brazilian pants with no pockets in the back?
No, they're like leggings. They're like Lululemon, I think.
Oh, Booty by Bra Bands.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. So and I was like, wow, I mean, this lady's got a kit. She's got it going on a little bit, right?
Yep.
And I actually said to my wife, I'm like, say her name was Lauren Ahern. I said to my wife one day, I go, you know who loves Lauren Ahern's ass? She goes, who? I go, Lauren Ahern. She loves it because she shows it off all the time, right? And then one day she had a regular shit on. And I'm like, oh, you got no fucking ass.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're like everybody else. You got a flat ass like everybody else. You're popping it up like a motherfucker. What do you got? She's got staging in there, dude, to
Yeah.
get this thing up in the fucking place.
Yeah, little.
Fuck out of my face with that shit, dude. And by the way, what do you give a fuck? You're an old person in the kids line. You're like, you can't wait to show my ass off today. Hey, you know what?
Not a
Why don't you
regular
go
mama.
home and crack stick to this?
Not a regular
drink
mama,
your
but cool mom.
Folgers, drink your Folgers, and crack some stick to my ass this afternoon.
Have you fucking Slim Fast?
By the way, when I saw Darcy, his sister, and Javon the other night, Javon was like, somebody said that they'd listen to the podcast or a kid ad.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's definitely an earphones type of podcast, not a put it on the radio.
No,
for everybody."
yeah, 100%. Matter of fact, I just told you I went by Julie's house, say happy birthday to her, and she goes, my kids are begging to listen to the podcast. And I go, no, they get enough of me. They get enough of me.
Exactly.
They get enough of me.
Yeah, you're getting it all the time. Am I up? You just did the booty.
I just did the booty bits.
All right, this is my last one. All right. Okay. For the people out there will understand this, I have fallen and I can't get up. One of the most iconic commercials to ever hit
That
the
might
TV.
be the number one draft pick.
It might be. Lifeline. Okay? Remember how I said no?
She's fucking dead.
For anybody who doesn't know, which I'm sure everybody who listens to this fucking knows,
Oh, but it
Lifeline was a product for old people who were on their last legs, who if they fall, break their hip, they have a little buzzer on them that they can hit, and it's basically wired into some fucking piece of shit half-assed ambulance company.
It's making minimum wage.
It's making minimum wage to tell them that they've fallen and they can't get up. The woman used to go, I've fallen, I can't get up.
The best though.
Is the best, unbelievable. Watch that fucking infomercial. That is unbelievable.
I wanted to be the guy to be like, all right, you know what we need right now? We need roughly an 83-year-old woman, and we need her to be okay that she's old. And then she comes in for the interview, and you say, all right, Gertrude.
Yeah.
Listen,
I was just going to say that.
Here's what we need you to do. And she goes, okay. And he goes, all right, great. You're already starting off great because you're fucking old.
Yeah.
We're going to place you on the ground. All we need you to do is say, I've fallen and I can't get up. And we're going to do it 100 times until you get it right. How do you think about that? You know what she's going to say? I couldn't hear you. Because she's fucking old. That guy must have fucking blown his brains out that night. Gertrude, listen to me. Here's what you got to do. Lay on the floor. No, not roll. I need you to lay on the floor. Yep. All you have to say is, I've fallen and I can't get up.
You know, they're probably I think she's actually fucking seizing right now.
No,
She is having a heart attack.
And then Gertrude just fucks him. She's like, I knew the whole time, dickhead.
You know what's the best? You know what I love about
She
old...
must have made like $80 that day.
You know what I love about real old people? There's a woman who lives across the street right
They're
from
all
this
hornballs?
garage. Well, I mean, personally for me, I don't care, but yeah, banging old people all the time.
No, they're just horny.
Well, I mean, I think, isn't most people?
Yeah, but it's funny when they're old.
Yeah, I agree. It is funny.
Yeah, when you have a handicap placard and you're old,
Yeah.
that's funny.
This woman lives across the street
And you're
from
old
us,
and you're horny, huh?
right? She's old.
Yeah.
I help her with the groceries all the time. She's awesome. Mary's her name. She is hardcore, old school, New England type of woman.
Mm-hmm.
Loves me, loves my wife. She was her son is pretty wealthy, owns the house. It's 2-family, and so he was gonna. She's like, I'm moving. She's like, they're gonna have me. There's this place down in Melrose. And so she said they have a pub. I guess I can go down there have a drink. I'm gonna give it a shot. Week and a half later, she's back. Right. Which, by the way, I don't know if you know anything about these places, but you got to spend like $30,000 just to get somebody in there.
Yeah.
She was back in a week and a half.
Wow.
And I go, we're like, oh, what happened? She goes, went down to the bar and I said, I'll have a Merlot splash. They give you a splash, and that's all you can have. You don't have any choice. I can't choose if I can get drunk.
Oh, that's
I'm
not my
outta
type of
here.
pub.
I'm like, I love this. This lady's
That's not
the
my
best.
type of pub.
I'm like, I'll keep bringing your groceries in and getting your wine for you
Yeah.
all day.
All day long.
Because I will not let you be in that place when
Yeah.
they tell you can't.
That sounds
drink
like a
shit.
prison.
Yeah. Oh, you can't have your second drink. It's like, what was it in, Gilmore, What, isn't it when his grandmother's in the place?
You can have a warm glass of shut the hell up.
Unbelievable. But anyways, Lifeline, ridiculous. And I said that rich people don't buy these, as you can see, TVs. Rich, cheap people do because they buy them for their mother. They don't want to put in that fucking home. Right. So like, hey, put this around your neck, and if you fall, fucking hit the fucking button. You know what I mean? Like whatever happens.
It's just like a piece of jewelry, just got a button on it. That is so fucked up,
dude. It's ludicrous. It's like what? They're like, hello? And she's like, I fallen and I can't get up. Who is this? Like, fucking, how do they have GPS on it? They know who the fuck the person is.
Imagine wires got fucked up and it like brought it to like, excuse me, I followed. It's like, well, yeah, you just called fucking Primo's Pizza.
This is Papagino's.
Yeah. What do you mean you fallen and you can't get up? I'm at your fucking door.
Dude, when we were growing up, my buddy in Ireland, I always talk about him. His family number was 665-4227 was Papagino's. No, 662-427 was Papagino's. 665-4227 was Jim O'Malley's number. Him and his brother used to answer the phone all the time Friday night because they were the ones who had no cable and shit and had nothing to do.
I got one better. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they would go, hello? They'd be like, can I get 2 large cheese pizzas delivered to like 15 East Foster Street? Yep. They answer the phone like an hour later. The guy'd be like, I ordered pizzas. The guy, oh man, fucking, my buddy'd be like, heads are gonna roll back here. He goes, let me get to the bottom of this. I'm like, dude, that's your hobby. Friday nights. You know, if you give a kid no cable and he's got nothing left to do, he'll just ruin somebody's pizza night. That's what they do.
Yep. So I got one better for you. So my buddy Mike Lepresti, big fan of this show. His phone number, it might even still be the same, but it was the same thing. 1 digit off from Jammin' 94.5. So all day.
Jam scam.
All day we would get phone calls. We worked for the Housing Authority, summer kids. We were 14, 15. Actually, I was probably 15. He was 16. He had a car. So he was probably 16. And I was like, dude, let me answer one of these. And I'm pretty good with impressions and whatnot. Yeah. So I'm like, Jim 94, we get the phone call, Jim 94.5, it's your boy Romero. And I'm like, you're calling 25, where you from? Where you coming from? She's like, I'm from Leominster, my name is Ashley. So I'm like, Ash, I'm going to put you on a quick pause. You just won, but I'm going to put you on a quick pause. So I'm like, what the fuck do I say? And he goes, you have to send them to Malden. So I'm like, I do. Okay. So we sent them. We worked for the Housing Authority. We hated our boss. And we sent them directly to their office. So I go, you're going to go to 630 Salem Street, Malden, Mass. And like the mom gets on the phone. I go, yep, this is 100% correct. You're going to see this guy named Ralph Turpin. And he was my fucking boss at the time. And she's like, are you sure this is legit? Leominster to Malden. I hope they made the trip just for this purpose. But they kept calling back and I didn't have the heart to like answer them. But daily he would get phone calls. Like his phone number was 617 blank 1943 and it was like 1945. Yeah. It was one off. Yeah. And I mean he'd just be like another one, and it would be random numbers. And I was like, you gotta let me answer it one time. And I did, and it was fucking great. And we had someone come from a long far away to get tickets that didn't exist. To go to my boss's office.
Dude, I love
to knock on the door.
I used to laugh so hard. It was like jam scam. Like it was like this for anybody listening from around here. It was the biggest radio station when we were growing up. 94.5 played like the newest music and like club music.
And by the way, they still play the same fucking songs from then. Today. Yeah, they suck now.
And basically, like they had this thing called jam scam, and it was like they'd be like, call your buddy up and like fuck with them.
My mother got jam scam.
You are from fucking
from Darcy.
No way.
My mother had a severe. All right, so I'm sorry. Finish.
No, I'm done.
So a jam scam was like a prank call. Like you called somebody to fuck.
You got them to do it for you though. Right. That's the premise. So if Danny was the guy, the DJ. Right. I would call it and be like, jam scam my wife. Right. And then like you do it.
And I would call Maggie and I'd be like, listen, Maggie, your fucking mortgage hasn't been paid in months. Supposedly fucking Brennan has a severe gambling problem. And like Maggie would lose her fucking mind.
That hits home. All right, go ahead.
I was like, holy shit. I could have said anything. My mother had a very bad ankle injury where like she had to get like screws in her ankles. She like never walked fine again in her life. And there was this huge insurance claim that like she was trying to get. And Darcy, my sister, who we have different mothers. That's there's not enough time to talk about my family, but we have different mothers. We have the same father. Darcy called on behalf and said, you need to call. She called Romero or Jam or whatever. Said, call this lady, tell her that her insurance isn't going to get fucking, it's not getting it. My mother did not hold back. Like, I remember my friend, me and Matt, we were getting ready for school. We're leaving. She goes, no, you guys are going to be late today. Because she found out.
Yeah.
Because it was that day. And she goes, you just need to listen to this. And she's just ripping on a Virginia Slim. Ripping on it at fucking 7 a.m. Probably a glass of fucking wine or vodka or whatever. And she goes, I'm going to give you guys some, lace lips. And she's listening to Jam. And I go, Ma, this is not fucking Oldies 103.3.
Yeah.
And she's like, just listen. And I hear her voice. And I go, oh, my God. And my mother's like, who the fuck do you think you are? Up one side, down the other. And I go, I was fucking pissing myself laughing. And then finally, in Romero, at the time it was Baltazar. It wasn't even Romero.
Baltazar! Oh my God.
The worst. Hey, yeah, that was his laugh. That was his laugh. And he's like, ma'am, she's like, I'm no fucking ma'am. My mother was out of her mind. Out of her mind. And she's like, do you know what, he's like, do you know
this
what
is already
Darcy?
my favorite episode, by the way.
This is like, do you know Darcy? And she just stops. She goes, that fucking bitch. And I go, hell yeah. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, like, they're like, this is a James Cansall thing. She's like, fuck you. And I'm pissing myself laughing. I was probably in like 5th or 6th grade. It was great. Unbelievable.
Dude, you know what my favorite, by the way, this is, I know we're getting off a little bit, but like, we said this in the first thing, like, one of my favorite things is like tricking your friends. Like,
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
Maggie would tell this story, but this, like, when I was first with my wife, we were like, like, when you're with a girl, you're like, all right, I'm going to be with this person. Like, this is the person for me, right? Yep. She accepts me for being a disaster. So, we went out a few times, we were hooking up, and then I'm like, hey, I want to take you to this, I was living in South Boston at the time, like, I want to take you to this restaurant, Melrose Turner's. Awesome place. So, took her down there, I'm like, hey, I want you to meet my parents. Like, they're up the street. She's like, and like for her, like she's like, fuck, she's, whatever. But we went over there. And so as we walked up the front steps of my house, I said to her, I go, listen, when you walk in there, I go, my father is in a wheelchair and he has no use of his arms. I go, so don't freak out, and he doesn't speak very well. And I just opened the door to my parents' house. And she was like, like obviously my father walks out and he's totally normal, right? She's like, she's like, why would you do that? Like, what, like, it was like, she's like, was like giving pause to like her decision to be with me. Like, why would you think that's funny? Like, to do that to somebody? And I'm like, it's fucking hilarious. I'm like, I just told you the minute before you met him that he's like a fucking invalid and he probably gonna piss himself in front of you. Awesome. And then you walk in and she's like, yeah, but most people, I'm like, yeah, I think that's hilarious though. Yeah, it's fucking great. Dude, getting somebody good is and she did it to me the other day. I was literally, I was walking in the front door. I just talked to her on the phone. I knew she was in my house. Walked in. She was hid in the closet and jumped out and fucking scared me. And I screamed, motherfucker.
Yeah,
right?
I don't like
now,
it. I don't like
screamed, motherfucker. My daughter's on FaceTime with her friends in the 5th grade, right? And Maggie's like, she's on FaceTime. I'm like, that's your fault.
Yeah.
I'm giving you my reaction.
Yeah. I fucking hate getting scared. Hate it.
I'm not going to use it now because that's a fraud, but we'll get to that in a couple episodes. Not scaring people. I got another thing for frauds.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so I love when people fucking jam. That's why, dude, jam scam is so fucking ridiculous.
That was a great thing. Now the thing,
Baltazar.
like, now it's like, fuck yeah. Worst laugh.
Dude, you want to hear a great story real quick?
Sure.
Because I'm going to forget if I don't tell it to you. The BBC. Okay. So if people don't know what this is.
No, everyone that listens
Yeah,
should.
most people know what the BBC is, but we do have some people from around the country. The BBC was a club that's literally like, as the crow flies, probably 3 miles from this place we're in right now.
Yep.
And they had, at the time when I was really going there, when I was like 22, they had a foam pit, right? And I don't know if they had this. Did they have this when you were there?
No. When I went,
I'm about to tell you a story that it fills me with such joy. All right, what was it like when you were there?
Well, it was amazing. They used to have like on Sunday.
You like John Travolta and fucking.
No. When I went, it was like at my age group, they only had 21 and under. When like next weekend would have been a perfect because we had Monday off.
Yeah.
So we'd have to go Sunday nights, and they would have all the rooms open, but like it was like a whole new world to me.
Oh yeah.
Like girls in cages.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And they had you think of a genre of music, they had it there.
Yeah.
It was as big as like a It was big as like a Macy's.
Yeah.
2 floors, 3
Yep.
floors. You know what I mean? Like it was just fucking wild.
Yeah.
And I remember the very very first time I went there, I was in line for maybe 2 hours. I get to the front. He goes, "You can't come in. You have boots on." I go, "What did you just say?" He goes, "Yeah, you got." I was like 15. I had no car. I had to walk home. It sucked. I wasn't gonna let my boys leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no, of course. So when we went, so like I said, obviously we know we're separated by 10 years. So I was 21 at the time, so we could drink when we were in there.
Yeah.
It was super dark in this place. Okay, so let me just preface it by saying that. Like on the nights when we would go there, like it was just super dark. They were like flashing lights. It was a club. It was a club. In the middle of this place, they had this. There was their big selling point at this point was like it was called like the something foam pit, like the fucking cabana foam pit, right? And it was the middle of the place. It's about the size of this garage, right? It's like a mini roller world, right? But it's just full of foam, right? And then after like they would run it for like 3 to 5 songs, and that's where you would go in and like fucking grind on broads.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like the foam would dissipate,
Yeah.
and then you would kind of see what you were dealing with. You know what I mean? Like there was almost like a glory hole for dancing, right? It was like that's why I put it like.
And you know what I know this kid.
And you'd be like wet.
No, but I know this kids from the South Shore that'll listen to this. That
Yeah.
are gonna die fucking laughing because they're like, "Did you ever been to the Palace?" And I'm like, "I have."
That's
and
the Palace.
Yeah, it's the BBC,
BBC's
the
the
Palace.
Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're gonna lose their mind because they're older than me, and I guarantee they've been part of this.
Oh, they know. So my buddy, one of my buddies, he's gonna
rolling
remain,
on ecstasy in there.
He would never listen to this podcast, but he's gonna remain nameless. Good looking kid. Used to like, he did okay for himself in the lady department, but like one of those kids, like no, they're like his balls busted, like always gonna be like, he doesn't take shit, doesn't he's not gonna be the type of dude that you can fuck with, like and like give him a hard time. Like I'm the type of guy, I'll give you shit, but you can give me shit. Like that's how I am. You're the same way. So we're sitting there, right? We're all in the foam pit, and then I'm fucking done with the foam pit. So I go outside. I'm like, you can imagine me covered in foam, my fucking like ridiculous clothes on, right? So I'm sitting there with my buddy having a drink, watching the foam pit. Now the foam pit starts. We can see our buddy Steve. I'm not using his last name, and he's grinding on this girl. And so as the foam pit dissipates, we're like, wow, I'm like, wonder what this girl is that he's like hooking up with or whatever. As the foam pit dissipates, he's grinding on this like 95-pound Asian guy. And he had no idea. And all of a sudden the foam goes down and he's like, oh, fuck.
No way.
And he was grinding on this fucking 95-pound Asian dude the whole time. And he had been in there for like 14 minutes with the person. Like,
that is
just going to fucking town.
Now when you talk to this fella, does he own it or does he say it never happened?
This is a story best told without him in the room, and he's not like we're not really friends anymore. So it's not like a like I ran into a Whole Foods the other day, and whole paycheck, and he was getting his like he was in there and he's like telling me about how he's sober and stuff, and I'm like probably because you grinded on that Asian dude for 14 minutes, and like that was the end of your life, basically. You know what I mean? Then when the phone went down, we saw it was a guy. I can't tell you how hard I lost my marbles because he was like, this kid's not gay. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like he was thinking this is like a woman. You know what I mean? This is like a petite woman. Grinding on. And obviously the guy was like 5'1", so the phone was like over his head. So he's like just seeing the top of the head. He's like, oh, it's
incredible.
It's a great looking little Asian broad I'm with. But it's a guy.
What's your name? He's like,
surprise, it's a guy. Anyways, the foam pit, by the way, if you've never third ad of the night, fifth ad. BBC foam pit tonight.
Yeah, fuck it. That was. But when I eventually did get in there, like the next fucking Monday I had off from school, because again, I didn't go there when I was 21. But that was all walks of life went through there.
Oh my God.
It was my first club experience. And it was.
It's kind of my only. I've been to a couple other ones.
Oh no, like I was a big club head. But like that place there was nothing better. Nothing. Like I wish I was there when I was 21. The parking lot was it was as big as a mall's.
Mayhem.
And it's now where the Palace is now a gym, a Lowe's, and so first off, put those two parking lots together, and there was a trailer park in the back.
Yeah. It's literally a trailer park in the
Still
back.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
sure they were proud when they open up their door to fucking piss outside or whatever they do.
It is a ridiculous thing that like I don't think gets noticed enough, but like within 6 miles from where we're sitting right now. There's like 12 trail parks.
They're just hidden.
Just hidden in the back of lots, like in the back of strip clubs. Like back of the Golden Bananas, a fucking, and I never knew a kid from any of them. Yeah. Like it's a whole different breed.
And I don't know why, but like every time I see one, I just automatically think of Eminem.
Of course, yeah,
no,
but
I'm like,
nobody's cool as Eminem came out of there.
Nah, not one person.
By the way, Eminem's not even that cool. He's a good rapper.
No, Eminem's pretty cool, but it goes number 1, Eminem, and there's no other list.
No, Trailer Park Winners.
Yeah,
Trailer Park Winners.
I do have one more.
All right, let's do it, and then we'll wrap up.
But I mean, we don't even have. I mean, we can't.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
So it's the Chia Pet, but it's not like pets. Why did they think like human faces were going to be a good
Bob
Chia
Ross, Chia Pet?
Bob Ross, Donald Trump, fucking Bugs Bunny. Like here's what bothered me about Chia Pets. So like, first off, why? Why was that a thing? Number 2, this is gonna bother some people. They had my family does the fuck you call them? Yankee swap for Christmas.
Yeah, Yankee swap.
We had a $25 limit. This is last.
After you finish, I'm going to tell one story.
This is last Christmas.
Yep.
We have a Yankee swap every year. I made an executive decision. We're going up to $50 now. $25 gifts are trash. Someone put a Chia Pet in one. No, not one person wants a Chia Pet. Number 1, but number 2, my other sister. She likes to gamble a little bit.
Sure. As I do.
She put in 2 free gifts from Encore. And she's like, yeah, they're like $25 a piece. I'm like, they're free.
You got it for free. You can't put those in.
So that's like the problem, right? So now like the whole family's going at it over a fucking Yankee swap during the happiest time of everyone's lives, right? So we're like, you definitely got, these are definitely Encore gifts. Like it didn't say Encore on them. She was like, yeah. She didn't even deny it. And I was like, yeah, we can't do this. Now, my Bible thumping sister, she goes all out. She 1,000,000,000% had the best gift for $25, right? She had this Tupperware container, which was included. And it had like when you're stuck in the fucking slush, like around New England.
Yeah.
It was like the tire.
Oh, yeah, tire grabber and all that stuff.
It was everything for like fucking snow shit.
Yep.
It was 20. I go, that wasn't $25. She goes, it was like 26 something. And she is like an extreme couponer, so I know she ain't bullshitting.
Yeah.
She had the best. She was like, I'm done with this grab. It's like she was mad, and I was like, you have a right point.
You're right to be fucking mad.
So I was like, we got to make it $50 now, which I think is reasonable, right?
Totally agree.
I can only do with so many fucking salt shakers and fucking candles and a pillow. What the fuck am I gonna do with a pillow?
Yeah.
Make it interesting, right?
Yeah.
So there was a Chia Pet involved. I don't know if it was a pet. I don't know if it was a person. But the people one bother me. Bob Ross with a Chia Pet, funny, sure. Then what are you gonna do with it?
Totally agree.
What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, totally agree. Throw it out.
Hey, you're gonna come over to my house? Hey, I gotta show you something wicked funny. And it's just a fucking it's a piece of grass with Bob Ross's face and talk about Van Dyke Brown and Crimson Red.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Nobody wants that.
Donald Trump. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of them. It's not just them two. Those are the only 2 that come to my head.
They don't have a Biden one though. It can't grow hair on his head.
Oh, he doesn't remember how to fucking.
No,
he probably. You know what he probably has?
Fuck politicians.
Fact.
Fuck
Do you know
them.
why he doesn't have hair?
Why?
Because he has the Flowbee, dude. Flowbee.
Yeah. He's been using the fucking lowest grade fucking attachment they have.
Flowbee.
I'll end this thing with a story where there was a girl from Melrose there is a girl from Melrose, an awesome girl. Jessica Harrington, shout out. One of my great friends growing up. She used to have a grab every year, a Yankee grab. Yep. And it was an awesome, and then we'd have a party at her house afterwards. And like her parents would let us hang out there. They would go like away for the night or whatever. And we'd like, we were like 16, 17 years old.
I was about to say, so
yeah, like we weren't.
Grabs are that old? I'm
dead. Yeah, they've been
these
around
are fairly new to me. Like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think they call it a Yankee grab because it's like
swap.
because like it's pronounced as Yankees were fucking.
Oh, dare that would make sense.
Yeah, but anyways, like we were like, wow, like every year it got a little bit more rowdy. This party that she was having, not through her own devices. She's a great girl. Through our devices, my shithead friends.
Right.
And I remember the year that was the last Yankee grab because my buddy Josh, who was the union iron worker, Ooh, a lot of people listening to this know him. So I brought like a coffee cup full of candy or something, right? And like my other buddy brought like a joke book. And Josh brought a 9-inch purple dildo and he wrapped it up. And some girl that was her cousin who wasn't friends with us opened it. And I'm like, well, that's the end of this fucking party forever. We all laughed our asses off. People were sticking it in the dip, like fucking. It was just became like a. Yeah, it was like it's like at some point it's like, all right, like this thing's run its course.
Yeah, wrap it up.
It's what happens, you know what I mean? It's what happens. I think this was a successful episode. What do you think?
I would say it's.
I
say we rebounded.
I think this is my favorite episode. Also, I think I say that every week, but I want to say this. When it started raining outside, temperature went down like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Like it's not as bad. We were dying in here.
Right.
Like we were like ants under a fucking magnifying
I really
glass.
thought I was going to be like I know I said it, but like if you haven't seen Ace Ventura 2, fuck off. When he's in the rhino sweating bullets, it's fucking, I thought it's getting a little warm in these rhinos. Like it's fucking hysterical, but I thought I was going to be profusely sweating.
Yeah.
And I'm okay right now.
Yeah, we're going to throw the AC on in a second once we go off the air. But here's the other thing. We're going to be coming, our next episode, this will come out tomorrow, which is Monday.
Yeah.
The episode of next week will come out on Tuesday. And that's because...
We're banging out two next week.
Yeah, so next week is Memorial Day. And then Danny's gone the next weekend. So we're going to do 2 episodes next week. But they're going to come out Tuesday and then the following Monday. So you won't hear this next Monday morning because it'll be Memorial Day. And if you don't have anything better to do, listen to this thing.
Yeah, be American one time, will you?
Exactly. You got any plans for the big weekend? You going to the camp?
No, so you had mentioned that. I still have yet to open camp.
Wow.
Yeah, which is unheard of. But I got to be honest with you, dude. I have no desire either.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah,
this was going to be my last year for the camp anyways, but I just don't. I have zero desire to do it. And
kids are getting older, so they get more shit going on.
Well, the 2 oldest, put it this way, the 2 oldest appreciated it. The 2 youngest will never remember it.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. So I think it's a good time to call it quits.
Yep.
It's getting expensive. It's getting a little fucking wary up there. There's a little changing of the guard.
Yeah.
I love everyone up there. It's a great time. If you guys do camp, if you're seasonals, you know what I'm talking about. But I have so much shit going on with my kids every weekend.
Dude,
when I get out as a human right now, like if I'm not at a wedding, I'm at some function with my kids, or if I just happen to have like a fucking Tuesday or a Wednesday and I can get out for a couple hours, I'm not thinking about camp.
No, I hear you.
You know, so it
gets hard to like do shit like you want to do. Like, well, I mean, you know what the funny thing is? I will say this. No, I'm not fucking sucking my own dick here, but I like hanging out with my kids. I do like doing that shit. I like taking them places, doing that shit. I don't have any problem with it. So,
I also do.
You know what I mean?
But here's my, and I don't give a shit who's. I hope my fucking kids hear this part. My favorite part of hanging out with my kids, and I'm not saying a favorite kid. My favorite part of hanging out with my kids, my oldest is my stepdaughter. Right?
Yep.
We talked about that.
Yep.
My favorite part is me just going to her and saying, "Want to go grab something to eat?"
Yep.
Fuck the rest of my biological children. I swear to God, she made me a dad, dude.
Yeah.
So like every once in a while, I'll be like, "Let's go to Newbridge," and
Yeah.
she's like, and she'll be like, "Yep, let's go." She goes, "Anyone else come?" Nah, fuck them. Fuck them. Let them fucking fend for themselves.
I will
tonight.
say like one-on-one time with like each of your kids is like important.
It's essential.
Because it's like
It's essential. You know what I want to talk about? I don't know when the actual date is.
Yep.
When we do, oh man, that's gonna obviously land on a Sunday. That's when we record Father's Day. What are we gonna do?
Well, it's our day, so we're definitely gonna do it.
We
We'll
have
be
to
drunk. We'll be drunk.
Yeah, that's a fair warning, right? And but we should dedicate that to all the cool shit because I think the single-handedly greatest job on earth. No, I'm not bullshitting you. I was raised by a single mother. I think the greatest job on earth is being a mom. I think it's the toughest job.
Yes.
But when you give credits to dads, I'm there for it every fucking time. I think we should dedicate that entire episode to fathers.
100%. I
don't give a shit how we do it. We can talk about fucking good shit, bad shit, but I love talking about fathers and how good ones and bad ones, shit ones too. I'll talk about you too.
We'll drag you right through the mud, motherfucker.
Yeah, you fucking
like
clown shoe.
Piece of shit. I like, and to, like I have to give one last addendum to last week's when I was cocked. That was
Both of
like-
us, dude. Stop saying you. It was
No,
both of
wow,
us.
we both were, but like
I was like literally.
But-
I remember being like, "I love you." I was
yeah, we were wrecked. The last addendum would be like, I would say like, you know, I was like, oh, my parents bought me these knockoff pants, which they just didn't know any better. But I got a fucking great upbringing. My parents are fucking awesome people. So credit to the fucking credit to the Ahern fucking parents.
Fucking A.
So yeah, we'll be back next week. Back every week. We're just gonna double up fucking episodes. You can rely. We're like UPS but better.
Yeah, we are better.
Yeah.
We are better.
We're like the
We fucking deliver, actually.
We do deliver. You know, we're like the postal office. My boy fucking John at the postal office, who fucking we talked about last
John
week.
Muzzy, we talk about Muzzy Dunn too. Muzzy told me who your fucking mailman was.
Oh, he told you?
He's a sick prick. He knew you wrote. He knew everything.
Dude, everybody knows fucking, listen, we're all, by the way, our mail gets here, you know why? Because we're fucking for the mailmen in the fucking world.
You're damn
We're
right.
for the letter carriers,
Yeah.
the fucking postman.
You keep out the fucking waters and the fruit during the.
Yeah.
You give gifts during Christmas. Good. Yeah, it's fucking. It's what you got to do.
You know what the problem with the show is that I literally, like, every time we start wrap up, I'm like, oh, let's talk about this for a minute.
I
But
can do
hey,
it all- I can do it
you know
all day
what?
long.
We got to go at some time. It's time to fucking wrap it up and say goodbye. All right, so we'll be back next week, and we'll be back the week after, and we'll be back for Father's Day drunk,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yep.
Danny Gillis.
Brennan Ahern.
All right, we're out.